interview these guys, to get to follow along in their journey, to get to cover a championship back in 2021.
It's been a fascinating ride in the case of each of those players who have appreciated their opportunity in Milwaukee. I think each of them came in with that, and that changed their perspective a little bit. Giannis, obviously new to America, new to the NBA, grew up in front of our eyes. I think that's true for so many fans, casual or otherwise, and did take the Bucks to an NBA championship along with Bobby Portis, who was appreciative, as I said, because he finally found a home. He had really knocked around. He was wondering probably what type of long-term future he would have in the NBA, and here in Milwaukee he did definitely find some stability, found a championship. Covering them was fascinating. They were both great with the media. Not every single time, but certainly genuine in the great majority of their dealings with us. You knew that they cared about the community, which I always appreciate when players understand, they're being paid a lot of money, they're getting support from a lot of corners of the community, and they reach back to that. So I think both of those guys should be commended for that. To win a championship, we were all still wearing masks and didn't have the direct opportunity to get down to them as everybody was coming off COVID. So it was a weird situation anyway, Haley, and it was such a foreign situation to have it happen here in Milwaukee after 50 years to be the NBA champions. It wasn't fluky. The Bucks were the best team in the NBA for about 3 seasons there. They may have been able to win another had health lined up for them, or maybe no COVID. So those factors were definitely a part of it, but they did get it all together for that 2021 championship, and you can't take that away from Bobby Portis, you can't take that away from Giannis Antetokounmpo, and you can't take that away from the Bucks or Milwaukee.
Yeah, when you talk about, being potentially one of the best in the NBA, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo's name is there. So many highlights being on this team, being in Milwaukee. Again, bringing the championship back to the city after 50 years in 2021. You want him to go off on a high note. Do you feel like he did? Because last season was also such an interesting vibe and experience for Giannis. Obviously, he dealt with some injuries. He was not appreciative of a crowd one time booing the team at halftime. And then he ended quite vocal, frustrated that he was on the bench, felt like he should be allowed to play in that final game of the season.
Where he would have joined both brothers who are currently on the Bucks roster, Alex Antetokounmpo and Thanasis Antetokounmpo, and that would have been an NBA first to have 3 brothers at the same time, so that stung a little bit. But I think Giannis should go with his head held high. This last year was not his highest. That much is true. Health was a part of it, as you said. Maybe distractions and side stories came up. But he should go with his head held high. I don't think Milwaukeeans hold it against him. I don't think he holds anything against Milwaukee. I don't even really think he holds anything against the Bucks. I know people have speculated, well, he was ready to leave the Bucks. He wasn't necessarily ready to leave the city. I don't really think there's bad blood between the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think time had kind of run its course. This is a team that tried as much as it could to remain a championship contender, mortgaging the future. Very aggressive moves to build a roster around Giannis Antetokounmpo. It didn't really work, and part of that was because Giannis's health himself was so affected as you got to the postseason in multiple seasons. So I just think it's a parting of the ways. It was a wonderful chapter. I would believe that most Milwaukeeans, I would believe that the Bucks, and I think Giannis Antetokounmpo and his family will look at this as it was great. It was time to go.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine any bad blood, to your point. I don't know how often you find out about an up-and-coming athlete where they say, he could do it all, he could be the best in the league, he could bring the championship home, and I feel like so often then they fail to meet those expectations. Not the case at all with Giannis. Everything he set out to do, he certainly accomplished here in Milwaukee. I imagine they will be retiring his jersey someday. I already see the statues that will probably pop up around the city as well. And certainly, if you're going to trade him away to the Miami Heat, you got to get some good things back in the deal as well. So TVV, tell me your thoughts on what we are getting here.
You're getting a multitude of talented players. You're not getting the NBA Finals MVP who was involved in the Boston Celtics offer. That would be Jaylen Brown. You're getting a different type of package. It's a deeper package. There are more players here. There are more draft choices here. Now, the draft choices largely are in the future. And Haley, to your earlier point, we've heard about a lot of players who are coming, and here they are, and they don't live up to their pre-draft hype, or they don't live up to what they've said. Giannis did live up to all that stuff. So just because you have draft players, or just because you have young players, that does not mean that these players are all going to maximize their potential as Milwaukee Bucks. But Tyler Hero has already been an NBA All-Star, and he's a Milwaukee area native, played at Whitnell High School. He's a former FOX6 high school hotshot where he was holding the microphone for us, Haley, and he had his Kentucky gear on, and he said something about going to the NBA, and he said, that should be nice. And then, a year later, after one season in the college ranks, he was in the NBA. So now he's in the Milwaukee Bucks organization. Is he staying here? Is there another trade coming regarding Hero? Is there a trade coming regarding the 2 draft choices tonight to package them and move up? We don't know. That's part of the fascination here. But a lot of players, a lot of talented players, a lot of guys who are going to go through a bit of a cultural adjustment to come from Miami, Florida to Milwaukee. Tyler Hero less so than the other guys on the list.
Obviously, when you're reporting on these types of things, TVV, you're doing it as a sports director, not necessarily as a sports fan. But when you look at everything we're getting in exchange for this trade, are you satisfied? Do you think this is a good deal? Do you think this is enough?
If I'm the Bucks, I feel good about this trade. I really do. I preferred the Bucks waiting until the summer than to make a deal at the NBA trade deadline. I thought you had more offers that you could get on the table, which may have then driven up 1 or 2 of them, which became more serious. So I think that is what happened. Boston and Miami seem to have the best offers to the end. Miami sweetened it a little bit. The Bucks get draft choices back, but as I mentioned a moment ago, they had mortgaged their future with draft choices, which left the cupboard pretty bare. So some of these picks coming back from Miami may be down the road, but they help the franchise's stability going down the road. There's enough immediate talent in the trade. If I'm the Bucks, I'm okay with this. They're still paying Damian Lillard. So they didn't have all kinds of flexibility because they had to waive him when he was hurt, and they're still going to pay him for the next couple of years. So they still have some things to do with their roster, but I think they will feel that this was a deal that they could make with a good conscience.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, before I let you go, do you have a favorite memory that really stands out to you when you're talking Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Mine is Bel Air Cantina. Do anything for you there, Haley? It is when the Bucks were just starting to get good. Again, playoff level team. They played a day game downtown. Giannis and his family went to the Bel Air Cantina afterwards, and they did not demand special treatment. They were at the hostess stand waiting for their table. They were told they had to wait a little bit. They made no issue of it. They hung around. They waited. And then eventually, word kind of, hey, that's Giannis. I mean, that guy a mile away was the star of the playoff game an hour ago. That's my favorite memory because it was the type of person that he was, the type of family that he is from, and the type of fit he had here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee had a good one. Milwaukee's losing a good one. Miami's getting the good one, but we can certainly cheer him on still and just be so grateful for all he did for our city.
And, you mentioned number 34. Ray Allen was a tremendous player who wore number 34 and was traded in his prime and had many good years after that, including some with the Miami Heat. So now the final number 34 to ever play for the Bucks is traded to the Miami Heat, and it's just part of what happens in professional sports sometimes. It is the end of an era. It's not the end of a career.
That's right. History kind of repeating itself right there. Tim Van Voren joining us from the newsroom. I know you're going to check back in with Maddie Stelk in a little bit, so we will look forward to you joining us again on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Thanks, Tim.
See you, Haley.
Again, we are going to continue covering all the things, this report that Giannis has been traded to the Miami Heat, as well as Bobby Portis Jr. I don't want to miss that either. Both incredible players, done incredible things on the court and off the court. We can't emphasize that enough. And even just hearing that story there from Tim, it's reminding that, the guy you think Giannis is, he really is that good of a human, which is what makes this even harder to accept. But he certainly did so much for Milwaukee. We're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and then we're going to actually head to Greece to get a little bit more of the background and the history here of Giannis and his entire family there, the Antetokounmpos. Stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. Haley Spittler here with you at 1:31 as we continue to talk about the reports that Giannis Antetokounmpo has been traded to the Miami Heat along with Bobby Portis Jr. We have been covering this really all morning long, but here on the Wisconsin Live Desk exclusively since noon. We are going to extend our coverage till 4 p.m. today. Maddie's still going to take care of those last 2 hours so that they kind of seamlessly transition into our afternoon newscast, where we'll continue to bring you the latest updates, the latest reaction to this news that I know is a kind of bittersweet pill for Milwaukee to swallow and accept here, as both these players have meant so much to the city, and of course both of them a part of that 2021 championship victory, bringing that back to Milwaukee, that title, the first time in 50 years. So going to continue covering it for you right now on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're about to be joined with Carl Deffenbaugh, my co-anchor, but first we want to actually watch the story that Carl put together back in 2023 on his trip to Greece, where he covers the family's kind of Antetokounmpo's academy that still is happening in Greece. So we're going to watch this. I love what Carl does on his vacation. It's not what I will be doing on any of my vacations, but he puts together a beautiful story. So let's watch it here, you and I.
What is your goal for your career?
I want to be an NBA player.
10 years, 7 All-Star games, a 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, and NBA champion. A decade of dominance that changed the course of a franchise, a city, and a family forever. And this is where the rise began. Sopolia is a neighborhood of Athens far from the usual tourist stops in Greece. But it's like Mecca for a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
He's a good role model, I feel like, for people on and off the court, and so he's easy to root for sure.
The Frazier family came all the way from Shorewood. Their European vacation had to include the home court of the Greek Freak.
It's crazy to see how, starting all the way across the world and able to become the person he is for our community and for the entire world.
While Giannis Antetokounmpo chases another championship in Milwaukee, he set loftier goals abroad to give kids like him the opportunity and confidence to dream.
I know what it's like to be called an outsider.
Giannis himself was unavailable for this story, despite young Noah Gebiao's best efforts.
Giannis, when are we going to see you? We're waiting for you. Come, we're waiting. I'm trying to see you, bro.
So
Life is busy when you're a global superstar. But there are plenty of other people in Sopolia happy to talk about their hometown hero and the example his family set for others to follow. There's the cafe owner across the street.
Giannis still remains humble and polite.
One of his first coaches.
He's a very, very good father. He's a very, very good athlete. He's a very, very good friend.
Plus any of the dozens of kids brought together by one name. The family started the Antetokounmpo's Academy in 2019, the same year as Giannis's first MVP. Every weekend during the season, they gather at this court and grow.
To me, they're like little flowers that they open up in the world.
Little flowers with shared roots.
We are from Nigeria, the same country that he is from.
Many come from poor families. Some are immigrants as well.
They feel safe here. They know that this is their court, their team.
A man with a Supermax contract and a Nike shoe deal could host his practices at the nicest courts in Athens. But it means something to Giannis and perhaps more importantly to the kids of the academy that it's here in Sopolia.
Giannis put in hours of work in this court, so that inspires me to work hard as well.
And not just in basketball. Noah's passion is music. The Academy offers educational programs, scholarships, motivational speakers, and more.
That's why Giannis has an impact on us, because we're all from different backgrounds, but then we come in one place and we just all bond together.
He serves as an inspiration to other people that they can do it and nothing stops them.
Rosa Mark enjoyed the Academy so much as an athlete, she came back this season as a junior coach.
His parents came here to find a better life. The same thing for all black parents. They just come here to make their children a better life, a better people, so that when we get out in the world, we'll we just return them tenfold, you know what I'm saying?
There are no guarantees, of course, that the kids of the academy will ever approach the levels of wealth and fame of the Antetokounmpos. But there are many ways to measure success.
I never get on my mind that we will get so high, so in the top of the world.
Grigoris Milas coached Giannis and Thanasis when they were kids, and what he saw then, he preaches to this day, in Greek, to make sure he gets it just right.
There are no limits. If you try your best, work hard every day, and you will achieve your goals.
In basketball and in life. Each part of the journey a bit easier when you follow in the footsteps of greatness. Carl Deffenbaugh, Fox 6 News.
All right, we watched the story. Now we get to be joined with the man himself, Carl Deffenbaugh, joining us from the newsroom. I have many questions, but for starters, what was that like to go and get to be there in person at the court where it all began for Giannis?
To be honest, Haley, it's one of my career highlights, and we can certainly have some fun with the behind the scenes of how this story came together and leaving my wife for a day on our 10-year anniversary trip to pull this off. But it was so special to be there because at that point, he had won the NBA championship. He had reached the pinnacle of his sport and done all of these things for Milwaukee. So it was pretty powerful to go back and see where it all started. Just to kind of orient people, Athens is a massive city, the capital of Greece. Most of the tourist areas are so far away from that neighborhood that we were in, Sepolia, where Giannis and his family grew up. So you end up there, and it's nowhere that any tourist would normally go, except if you're a Milwaukee Bucks or a basketball fan in this case. So I just thought it was so special. First of all, coming to that neighborhood, looking around at the buildings, a lot of them have not changed since he was a child there. That court obviously has gotten a paint job since then, but that is the court that he really learned the game on. And to this day, they host that academy at that court, not at some brand new sparkling facility somewhere else in the city, but at that court, which again, walking up, there are families on the playground outside. There are weeds growing along the fence. I had to duck under a chain link, a fence that was locked to get into part of the court first before the academy folks showed up. So it just kind of has that authentic, gritty feel, and it's a reminder of incredibly how far he and his family have come to where they are now and where it all began.
To your point, I mean, it's one thing to hear his story, which when you hear it, you're inspired by it. It's another thing to visualize it the way you do in this piece of yours, where you're like, this is where he learned to play basketball and he made it to the top of the sport. I mean, he's played at the Olympics now. He's won the NBA championship. He's been one of the best in the league, a 10-time All-Star. But he started there, so that alone is just such a cool thing to visualize and to see. And I imagine with all those kids, they have such a role model in Giannis. What was it like to get to talk to them about the Greek Freak?
Well, so many forks in the road, too, where that path could not have ended up anywhere close to what it has been for Giannis. In fact, one of the guys featured in that piece, he was speaking Greek, but he's the cafe owner. His name is actually also Giannis. So to the Antetokounmpo family, that was Mr. Giannis, because he was the cafe owner across the street. Giannis and his brothers, I believe, went asking for a job from him initially. They wanted to work at the cafe, make a little money, as is known for his story. They were such hustlers selling trinkets on the streets of Athens, trying to make ends meet. And that cafe owner actually said, no, I'm not going to give you a job. I'm going to give you food. I'm going to give you the ability to keep playing basketball and focus on that as your path forward, your path out of here. And he's still there today, kind of celebrating all of these pictures on the wall. The family has come back repeatedly over the years. It's really special to see those connections that are still so strong for the family. For the kids, it was so fun. You know, to be honest, most of the talent on the court there, not going to end up in the NBA. These weren't exactly like elite prospects, even in the Greek basketball standards. But they're young kids and they're dreamers, just like Giannis and his family, right? Whether it's basketball, whether, as you heard, that one kid, Noe, who wants to go into music, they are just chasing something better for themselves and their family, coming from similar economic and cultural backgrounds, many of them immigrants to Greece, as the Antetokounmpos were as well. And no matter what they're chasing, he is that beacon that it can happen, that your dreams can come true. And he still goes back. In that piece, he had not been there for that session yet. Actually, at the end of the session, after we were gone, he did come back with his brother as well and celebrated, greeted that year's Academy kids, and it's something that continues as well in Greece.
And I think that's something that also just speaks to the person Giannis is even off the court. You know, yes, he started there and he made it to the top, but he hasn't forgotten about his roots. There are people that would just move on to bigger, better things. Okay, I did it. But instead he goes, I'm going to go back. I'm going to continue to inspire the next generation, help them out if I can as well.
And especially, it's an important reminder to people, I think, that he and his family were not always welcome in Greece. This is, I think, at its core, such a beautiful immigrant story, such a wonderful example of what can happen if people are given an opportunity. His parents moved from Nigeria to Greece. They had most of their boys there in Greece. And for a long time, they were not Greek citizens. In fact, Giannis only received his citizenship because of his basketball prowess, because of his chances as a prospect to get drafted into the NBA. And then finally, they weren't necessarily persecuted by some hate groups in Athens and the like, but instead turned into these champions of Greek culture, given citizenship, given the opportunities to come across the pond, so to speak, and turn into what they've done here in Milwaukee. He represents Greece so proudly in everything he does, but that's also because he and his family had to fight for every inch of that representation and be able to support their nation in that way.
Okay, so it is the Wisconsin Live Desk. I do want to go behind the scenes of this story because when I watch it, I have so many questions. Like, 1, how did you pitch this? 2, how did you convince your wife, Kim, to let you go? 3, what gear did you bring with you all the way to Greece?
Okay, I'll try to handle these in order, and you might have to remind me. How did I pitch this? Well, so my wife and I were planning a 10-year anniversary trip. We were going to Greece. It's an amazing place if you ever get to go. And me being me being a sports fan, of course, and this coming off of the championship season, this was a couple years removed in 2023, I wanted to go to the neighborhood. I knew this court existed from seeing some other things that Giannis had done over the years. And, you know, the gears start turning. I was aware of the academy, found out that they do clinics throughout the season. Okay, the spring seems to line up with when our trip is going to happen. Hey, actually, they have a clinic on the exact day that was our one kind of day to play with in Athens amid the itinerary that we had planned. So I'm not going to lie, I went down the road first with the Academy folks, got in touch with this amazing guy, Dimitris, with Eurobasket and Eurohoops, who helps organize it. He started putting some things in motion. Yes, I'd be able to go meet the coaches, meet the players, everything like that. And only then did I maybe bring this potential plan to my wife. This was, I think, only our first or second day in Athens at the time after we'd landed. So we did some touristy stuff. We went out to lunch one day, and then I basically left her to pop around town, hang out at our Airbnb, do what she wanted. She had some great food. Apparently had a wonderful day enjoying the city while I went off and worked for a bunch of hours. And then we did meet up later that night for a proper anniversary dinner.
How much gear did you have to pack with you to go to Greece? Because I was like, oh, maybe he shot this on his phone, but then I see the mic that you're wearing. At one point, it looks like a drone shot. Walk me through the gear that you had.
Okay, Haley. So yes, most of it is thanks to these amazing devices that we have in our pocket. I can actually scroll through this phone right now, and if I go back to 2023, there's just clip after clip after clip that I mostly shot on my phone. That piece, by the way, is thanks to our longtime wizard of an editor here at FOX6, Dave Machuda, who I basically handed him a folder of like more than 100-something phone clips and said, please make your magic happen with this, and he did, obviously. So most of it was the phone. Yes, I also had a microphone that I was able to hook up actually through the cell phone, thanks to some connections there for the interviews. I have my own GoPro that I do some stuff with on our travels, so I use some of that. And then, probably shouldn't say all this, but it is the Wisconsin Live Desk, whatever. I do have a drone that I fly, again, just for fun on some of our trips. Probably wasn't supposed to do that in that neighborhood, but I tried to be very safe about it. Basically just went up and down quickly and got a couple shots because it's that skyscraper where there's the mural of the whole family on the side, and then it's that shot of the entire court with his larger-than-life image taking up the entire court and seeing the neighborhood that I thought would really kind of place it and capture it there. But you didn't hear that from me if other bosses at Fox are listening.
Yeah, no one else is listening, Carl. It's just you and I. But it does just confirm that you truly are that nerdy journalist, both on and off the clock.
I did try to expense it. I got denied repeatedly. In
They're
fact,
like, pay for your
10-year
10-year anniversary trip, denied.
It was worth a shot. We started running promos of this story before it aired once we were back, and a boss at the time came down and checked with one of our managers and said, hey, just to be clear, that promo kind of makes it sound like Carl went to Greece. I think we need to change that before it actually airs. And we're like, nope, actually did in fact go to Greece and come back with the story.
Oh my gosh. Well, you and I were hanging out all morning on Wake Up together, and obviously Giannis plays, I feel like, an instrumental role even in your experience in Milwaukee. You said you've been here, about a decade now. Pfizer Forum was being built when you first arrived. What does Giannis mean to you? Kind of what's your reaction to the news here, Carl?
It really hurts. Coming from a sports reporting background before I switched to news here in Milwaukee, I know it's a business. I know this is the way it goes, but as a fan as well, you kind of hold out that sliver of hope that maybe this is one of those generational players who does get to stay with that one team his entire career. A Kobe, a Tim Duncan, what Steph Curry is doing with the Warriors still to this day. And I know this is probably the right decision for the Bucks and for the future of the franchise, and certainly Giannis wants to chase championships while he's still in the late window of his prime here, but it still hurts to some degree. You mentioned it, but I moved here almost 10 years ago. Next month will be a decade here at Fox 6 for me, and we moved here a month after they broke ground at Pfizer Forum. So Giannis was already in town, drafted in 2013, but it felt like this whole era of the franchise really happened from the day that I started here, and it's been so fun to watch. As I mentioned, this trip and the story was a career highlight, the 2021 championship run. It's going to be tough to top that in terms of things we get to do here at the station. I came off of paternity leave with my middle child, Zara, right into the NBA Finals, so right into the peak of all that excitement, going through Game 6 and the 50-piece that Giannis put up, the parade that followed, just moments and days that I will never forget, even if I got very, very little sleep for about 2 weeks there.
You were used to it. You know, you had an infant at home.
Parenting does prepare you for that.
You're already going without sleep. No, you mentioned that, for a lot of people, even you yourself, you hope that maybe the rumors, the trade, it won't actually come to fruition. Obviously, we've yet to hear from Giannis himself about the trade. We did hear from him last night before any announcements came out, where he posted, God, I trusted you at the beginning, and I will continue to trust you throughout. I was scrolling through some of the comments, Carl, when this was posted yesterday. So many people wanting to read into it in any way that makes it that he's staying in Milwaukee. So people were like, oh, he's in his Milwaukee Bucks jersey. That means he's staying here. And obviously, all of them having their hearts broken the same way we did here when we learned that he was going to be going to Miami along with Bobby Portis Jr. What's your reaction, Carl, to what we're getting? Obviously, we talk a lot about what we're losing here, but also getting 4 players and some draft picks.
Yeah, I've been trying to read a little bit of the national coverage too, which obviously the Milwaukee fans feel a certain way about because there's been rumors on ESPN and the like for years that Giannis was going out of town, and he kept staying. I think John Horst in the Bucks front office did pretty darn well for where they were at and kind of the hand they were dealt. I'm guessing that if they had made the decision, say, a year ago, before they ended up waiving and stretching Damian Lillard's contract, before they ended up signing Miles Turner, there might have been a clearer path forward with more top-tier talent necessarily. And I know more recently the question was whether Jaylen Brown would come from the Boston Celtics, a little bit more of a one-for-one setup there. I think in terms of what they got, this was about as good as they could hope. It's players that you can maybe see a future around, maybe not a top-tier all-star like Giannis, although Tyler Hero was for 1 year there, but then the chance to maybe strike gold another time. Remember, Giannis was the number 15 pick. I'm not saying we're going to get anywhere close to that kind of player in the draft tonight, say, with picks at 10 and 13, but I think unfortunately for where the franchise was at and how hamstrung they were going to be with the lack of draft capital and ability to build around Giannis in the years to come, this was a pretty good job at resetting things. Unfortunately, you close the chapter on really probably for us once-in-a-lifetime talent here in Milwaukee, but you can see a path forward now with a new coach in Taylor Jenkins, who's used to kind of these rebuilding efforts like he went through in Memphis and ended up reaching the playoffs, and then at least pieces for the front office to build around. I think one of the big questions, though, they have not necessarily had the same success in the draft that they've had in trades, in free agencies through the high points of this era of Bucks basketball. So can they finally hit again in the draft as they did 13 years ago?
All right, Carl, you're going to be asked the same question I've been asking a lot of people as they join the live desk. Do you have a favorite Giannis memory that really stands out to you?
Man, I mean, there are just so many, right? You can go on the light side of things. I love just how goofy a guy he seemed like outside of basketball, but then that switch would flip, and he was absolutely ruthless on the court and didn't kind of play the games of the normal NBA superstar that others have dealt with in other franchises. I'll go to 2 plays in particular. One of them I mentioned with you this morning, Haley, because we ran it a couple times. The combination, I love Drew Holiday a lot too. He was such a fantastic player to cheer for here in Milwaukee. So the combination, Game 5 of the finals, the Drew Holiday steal where he just rips the ball away from Devin Booker. They're down the court. The Suns are trying to foul. They need to do that. And Holiday just says, forget that, throws it up. Giannis throws it down, flexes on everyone. And it kind of clinches that to set up Game 6. I think was the individual play that I remember most from that finals run. But Game 6, so I'm a morning anchor. I was supposed to work the next morning. I had worked that morning. But I wasn't going to miss the potential history, even if I wasn't necessarily on air for our coverage. So I went down to the Deer District that night for Game 6, watched it with a number of our staff members and our crew down there. Ted Perry, Mary Stoker-Smith were anchoring the coverage. And to see the Deer District just absolutely erupt, fireworks going off on top of the arena, the crowd celebrating well into the night, and just the absolute jubilation that night into a very early morning for me, riding high on adrenaline and the excitement of a championship, the first in 50 years. It's tough to top that.
No, absolutely. No, I was talking to Andrew about it because obviously Andrew and I weren't reporters or anchors here at Fox 6 when everything was happening. He was still in Milwaukee. He was obviously a Marquette student. I was still in Wisconsin. I was just in Western Wisconsin in Eau Claire, where I always joke like it'd be easier for them to be fans of Minneapolis teams because it's an hour-and-a-half drive, but no one is. Like, they love their Wisconsin teams. So even from the 3.5 hours away, we were covering everything to do with the Bucks, and everyone was so excited, even in Eau Claire and La Crosse when they had done it, this Bucks in 6, this championship. So it's been cool then to now go from covering it from afar to hearing everyone closer up kind of view and just how amazing Giannis actually is. There's nothing worse than when you love an athlete or a celebrity and then you hear, oh, they're actually a horrible person, and that's not the case with Giannis.
No, absolutely not. Everything you hear about him is about as genuine, as grounded, as easy to root for as you could possibly hope. And I think to your point, though, Haley, that's kind of what Giannis in this era of the Milwaukee Bucks did for the franchise. From what I understand, you know, with so many friends who grew up around the city and have been going to games through some of the lean years of the Bucks, or maybe some of the highlights of the early 2000s, that Eastern Conference Finals run with Ray Allen and the like. It was a Milwaukee team, right? The Brewers are the statewide team. The Packers, certainly, state and nationwide fandom. But the Bucks were much more located here within the city limits and maybe southeastern Wisconsin. I think what they were able to do over the last decade, basically, 13 years of Giannis and so many of those playoff runs, 9 straight, they were able to broaden the love of the Bucks and the fandom throughout the entire state, as it should be.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Carl, would you like to give us your answer to our poll?
Oh, what is it?
Okay. How are you feeling today now that the Giannis trade has happened? Are you sad? Are you anxious, happy, angry, hurt, or hopeful?
I don't know if any of these totally hit. I'm more just, I don't know, content, complacent, not really sure how to feel. I guess more sad than anything, while still trying to focus a little bit on that 7% happy, and just so glad that it happened. The hope, I'm not sure what I think about where this team is going to go. I'm not sure if they're done dealing either with some of the pieces they even brought in from Miami. So I don't know if I know what the future looks like for the Milwaukee Bucks yet. So I'm going to stay very content and very appreciative that we had him while we did, and there was so much to celebrate over that 13-year run.
I like that perspective, Carl. I mean, let's go with hopeful, though. Let's say end of an era, but that doesn't mean we can't start a new one. No one knows. Maybe we're starting our next journey to another championship.
That could be. No one knew when that kid from Greece that we didn't know how to pronounce his last name was drafted back in 2013 either.
I do remember being in college at Loyola when Giannis had just started his NBA career, and I was in a sports broadcasting class, and they put up his last name, and they called on me and said, how do you pronounce that? And I went, oh gosh. My friend was from Greece, so I was like, Ioana is going to pronounce that one for me.
That's a good hookup.
Now we know it. Now it's like Antetokounmpo. We say it so easily.
Amen to that.
Love it. All right, Carl, thanks so much for joining us here on Wisconsin Live Desk.
I got to figure out my next travel that I can work into maybe a write-off.
I like that's genius. I mean, it won't happen, but I do love that on his 10-year anniversary trip, he took a day away from his wife and went and did work. That is Carl Deffenbaugh for you, through and through. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the live desk. We'll be right back with more news.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It's Haley Spittler here with you at 1:58 as I get ready to hand things over to Maddie Stelk. She's going to take over here at 2, get you all the way to 4. We have extended the Wisconsin Live Desk today because we want to make sure that we continue to hit the big story, of course, that is the reports that Giannis Antetokounmpo has been traded to the Miami Heat along with Bobby Portis Jr. We're going to keep the conversation going. Got plenty of guests joining us these next 2 hours as well as we go kind of right into our afternoon newscast. And we want to hear from you, both in our poll that I was just showing you before with Carl, that you can vote at fox6now.com/poll on your reaction, but also in our YouTube comments. I know so many of you guys are watching us on YouTube. Maybe you're watching us on Fox Local or fox6now.com. You can also open up the Fox 6 Now YouTube page to put in a comment. We love showing them for you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We did hear from Jeffrey already today. His reaction here from the news that came overnight. He said, I was mentally prepared for Giannis, but not Bobby. And that's really what I've been hearing a lot in the newsroom, too. A lot of people, unfortunately, we felt like it was coming. We knew we were going to lose this big star in Giannis. But then hearing it was Bobby as well, I know has been a heartbreaker for many people, not just in our newsroom, but across Milwaukee as well. Of course, Giannis was an absolutely incredible player. I'm just going to pull up some of his stats for you here. He is the all-time leader for the Bucks in points, in rebounds, in assists. He is a 10-time All-Star, and all 10 of those times he made it the All-Star game, he started in the All-Star game. Also a 2-time NBA MVP. And we can't forget, he brought it all home, that title in 2021, an NBA champion for the Milwaukee Bucks, also the Finals MVP. And as he heads on to Miami, at least according to the report from ESPN, I know so many people are going to miss him, and Pfizer Forum and the games will feel very, very different, especially because the next time he'll be here, he'll be in a Miami Heat jersey, it sounds like. I know. Hard to imagine. All right, we're going to leave this live lookup at Pfizer Forum just for a few minutes here while Maddie kind of signs into everything, but she's got you covered for the next 2 hours right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Thanks for joining me today.
All right, for those of you just tuning in, live look at Pfizer Forum right now. Guys, any big news today? Have I missed anything? Okay, I'm just kidding. I feel like I cope with humor here. But yeah, obviously big news today. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis both traded to the Miami Heat in a blockbuster deal. Those are reports from CNN. Let's take you back out to Pfizer Forum right now as community reaction is just pouring in, especially over the trade of Giannis, who had a 13-year run here in Milwaukee, and especially his impact not only on the fans, but also the younger generation. I'm going to bring in Bria Jones, one of our reporters covering this tonight. And Bria, you went to Evolve Church and kind of talked about the community impact that Giannis had on some of the children there. I mean, you were sending us pictures and just seeing their faces. This was probably a tough loss for them.
You know, Maddie, honestly, that's the thing that I think that was so remarkable about the conversation that I just had with these young people. They love Giannis. Milwaukee Bucks or not, they say, hey, they will continue to be Giannis fans. They will continue to support him. And I think that just goes to speak to everything that you just said, which is Giannis not only just a superstar NBA champion with the Bucks, but also Giannis, a pillar of this community. I had a chance to speak with 3 of the youth that are members here at Evolve Church, currently outside of Evolve in the parking lot. So I talked to them just within the last, 45 minutes or so ago. Their ages ranging currently from 12 all the way to 16. But they were basically telling me that Giannis has obviously been a big part of the Bucks their entire lives for some of them. You can see the picture there on your screen. This is actually taking you back to April 2023. Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously you see him there, the center of the picture. But Giannis has a close relationship with the pastor, Kenneth Locke, who is the lead pastor here at Evolve Church. Kenneth Locke is the official chaplain and barber for the Milwaukee Bucks. So you see him a fixture, a staple at a lot of the games, on the court with Giannis, off the court with Giannis. You see them there in that picture. And the remarkable thing is, too, near Giannis there in the picture are his two sons, 2 of his oldest children. And so I think it just really goes to speak. This is a moment, just to tell you what you're looking at. My part of this story today was really looking at Giannis's community impact and just really what he has been able to accomplish here in Milwaukee off the court. And so this is what you're seeing. This is Giannis with about 20 children that are members here at Evolve Church. And this is a moment back in April of 2023 where he actually invited 20 youth over to his home. These kids said it was a surprise for them. They had no idea that they were actually going to Giannis's home. They said, as you can see them there, he's kind of like, I think he's doing an autograph in that picture. But again, he gave them some of them shoes. He gave them some gear. He gave them clothes. And they were really, really excited. And they said, obviously, you would think the best part would be that they got to play with Giannis one-on-one. So many of them, the boys that I spoke with, say their favorite part of this was the Chick-fil-A. We know that Giannis loves the Chick-fil-A. I'm from the South. We know Chick-fil-A as the Lord's chicken, if you may, if you like to call it that. But they literally said the best part of this experience was not only just that Giannis was down to earth, but that he literally went to Chick-fil-A, stocked up his entire fridge so that when they open the fridge, they can get however many milkshakes they wanted to, and they can get whatever they wanted from Chick-fil-A. So he really went all out and really created memories that would last a lifetime. Again, this is looking at Giannis's impact off of the basketball court. He invited 20 children from Evolve Church to his home. They went to Giannis's mansion. They had a chance to play with him at his home gym inside of his house where he spoke with them. He gave them knowledge. He inspired them. He heard them. And they also just got to share in fellowship with him. And I think that, and it's not just a thought, but from what I had to the conversation that I just had with someone who's over the youth ministry here at Evolve Church, as well as 2 of the boys who were actually in those pictures that you're looking at, they basically really just kind of shared with me that win, lose, or draw, that because of Giannis's impact off the court, it really just adds to who he is as a person. And so for them, they said, yes, it's bittersweet. I think that was their word. Bittersweet, to learn of this. Obviously, the 12-year-old King learning of the trade overnight on social media. Someone else getting a text from their grandmother last night after a basketball game. And while yes, they are disappointed that Giannis is leaving Milwaukee, they're also happy and hopeful for his future. And I think that that is really just when you think about sportsmanship and when you think about just really what that says about Giannis's just who he is as a person, that despite him no longer being a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, you have Milwaukee kids that are saying, hey, we don't care that Giannis is no longer a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, it sucks, so to speak. I don't think that's a news term, right? But for them, they're sad about it, but they're also really happy and they're hopeful because they believe that this is something that Giannis wanted. And they believe that just like he had success here in Milwaukee, that he will now go to Miami and also have success. And so they're not saying, they're hopeful that, this is obviously going to be a chance, an opportunity for the Bucks to rebuild, but they want to see Giannis, someone who invited them into their home, someone who poured into them, so a superstar that they saw on television, someone who actually took the time out to have face-to-face one-on-one time with them. That's something that they're saying they will never, ever forget. And I think that just goes to speak to who Giannis is, not just on the court, which we see him, doing all of the things, scoring all the points, winning NBA championships here in Milwaukee, which is something that I wasn't here for, but something that I always hear about. Bucks and six, right? And six, right? Six. Bucks and six. Okay, so we hear that everywhere. It's on the T-shirts. It's on the hats. That's something that we will never be able to take from Giannis's impact here in Milwaukee. But also looking at this, his impact off the court. There are so many children in Milwaukee today who maybe some of them have heavier hearts, but some of them kind of they're taking with them his impact, whether or not it's a basketball camp, whether or not it's the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Giannis and his family have given back so much to this community. And here at Evolve, this is just one example. And those images, that's only from one partnership here. Giannis has, obviously, I don't know if he's a member here at the church, but he is close friends with Pastor Ken, who is, again, the chaplain and a barber for the Bucks. Pastor Ken even posting pictures on social media of him cutting Giannis's son's hair. And so, again, this isn't just someone who lived in the city, who went to Pfizer to work, and then that was it. This was somebody who was putting down roots in this community. People can tell you that Giannis was very visible. He was at the pumpkin patches. He was at the swim class. He was doing all of the things. He was in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru line. And I think that is what Milwaukee will miss most. And looking at these pictures, you can see on your screen again, just of him being able to this is basically like Beyonce inviting me over for dinner. Okay, Maddie, this is a big deal. Giannis inviting 20 children over his home to break bread, to talk to them, to play with them, and to engage with them. And you don't always get this from superstars. And that is what Milwaukee is losing in Giannis, this superstar who is just very, very down to earth and relatable. And so for the children here that I had the chance to speak with, he's still an inspiration. He's still the guy that invited them over his home to play basketball and to eat Chick-fil-A. And those are memories that they will never forget. It's something that a trade, obviously not what they wanted, but it's a done deal. So it's not like they can wish for it to be undone, but for them, it's really just a thank you to Giannis. And I think that's what we're seeing, not just from the children, but also the adults. I've seen so many people on social media just thanking Giannis for his impact and what he has done for the city of Milwaukee. And it's no different here at Evolve Church.
No, absolutely. I think you said it really well, too. He was somebody who was out and about, like way beyond just the court, and just goes to show how much he valued Milwaukee, and he wasn't just here for the sport. It was so much more than that. I want to ask, because what a core memory for those kids to be able to look back and remember that. When we talk impact here, is there anything that they told you, the kids that you talked to specifically, that they're going to take with them as they move forward now that, Giannis is no longer going to be in Milwaukee, something that they'll remember him by, or a way that they're going to honor him, or some sort of message or takeaway?
The craziest thing I asked that same question, and for them, it was the Chick-fil-A.
The takeaway is the Chick-fil-A.
They said they will never forget the Chick-fil-A. And I think it was how it was presented, just with him being so grand. And it's like you go into the refrigerator during the summertime and the options are limited. You go into Giannis's refrigerator and he has 50 milkshakes from Chick-fil-A, and you could pick whichever one you wanted. And I think that it was just such a grand experience. But from them, they also appreciated that the older kid, he essentially said that he admired his work ethic and his motivation and the grind. And so I think it was something, they say, never meet your heroes, but this was not that. For these children, it was exactly what it needed to be. Giannis was just as wonderful on television as he was in person for them. And so this was something that they told me they'll never forget.
Wow, what a cool experience for sure that they'll definitely look back on. Bria, I know we were talking about Giannis was outside, and you and I are outside, I would say, a decent amount. Have you had any Giannis sightings off the clock, I want to say, or anywhere that you've seen him?
I have not. I have not had any Giannis sightings off the clock, but I was jealous because there is a pizza, I believe it's called Zana's.
Yes, yeah.
Right off of Brady. And so I still have yet to go. I need to change that because I live close to it. But Giannis was actually there the night that I thought about going. The restaurant posted the next morning that he was there. And I was like, dang, he was just there. And then I went to the pumpkin patch. I forgot, it's kind of out of Menominee Falls area, the pumpkin patch. You know the name of that pumpkin patch? Okay, there's a pumpkin patch somewhere close to Menominee Falls. But I went there with Lisa Michaels last year or so, and they were like, you guys just missed Giannis. And I'm like, how do I keep just missing Giannis? And so I have missed him a few times. I did have an opportunity to interview Mariah, and she is just absolutely lovely. I interviewed her at a women's symposium, and she was talking just about, it was a Black women's symposium, and she was just talking about Black maternal health and just kind of maybe problems that Black women may face giving birth, and talking about, some of the struggles and things that she's had to overcome being a mother of four. And so just a really lovely family. And I think that that's what Milwaukee will be missing. This power couple that you could literally run into at Target. And you can't say that every day. How many times you're running into NBA champions at the grocery store? And I think that's what Milwaukee had in Giannis. And that's what made him so special. And it's something that these children here told me that they will cherish literally forever.
No, absolutely. And Delaney, our producer, actually said the pumpkin patch was Bossy's that you're referring to.
Yes.
And yeah, I was actually going to say, I actually saw him and his wife Mariah once at Aya, the new Mediterranean restaurant downtown. So oh my gosh, my friend was trying to be chill about it and take a picture because he didn't want to bother them, of course, as they're eating. But yeah, honestly, it's cool. You can't say that about somebody like a mega superstar like Giannis to just be out and about all the time. But really cool to see, and very humble too. So we're definitely going to remember that. I know you're coming up on Fox 6 News at 4, 5, and 6. What can we expect in your reports there?
Okay, so obviously we're going to have some more of those cute pictures behind the scenes of Giannis and interacting with the kids, but you're also going to hear from them. And I think that that's the most important part of this, because the children are our future, and you will hear these kids talk about not just their love for Giannis, but their love for what he's done for the city of Milwaukee. And I think that as young people, to hear them, these are things that they said that Giannis has done for their city, and that's why they're choosing to continue to love him well beyond after he leaves Milwaukee city limits. And I think that that is something that is just remarkable in itself, that these children are saying, yes, he is an NBA champion. Yes, we love him because he's a star athlete, but more than anything, we love him because he has poured so much into our city. And it was really incredible to be able to sit down or to stand and talk to children who have been in his presence. And they didn't just engage with him at the grocery store. He took an opportunity to take hours out of his day to welcome these children into his home. And I think that is not lost on any of them, whether this was 3 years ago. Now one of the young men is 12, the other one is 16. He now plays at a high school out in Ozaukee County, I believe. But regardless, these are kids that are here in the Milwaukee area who say, hey, we love Giannis. We're sad to see him go. This is really bittersweet, but he has poured so much and he's given so much back to us that we're going to show him love regardless as he moves on to this next chapter. And they're really excited for him. And I think that that's something that's so beautiful, because it's easy to be selfish, to be like, well, this great thing is leaving. You know what I'm saying? It's good things always end. And I think that you can either choose to be happy and to be hopeful and to be grateful for what you had and looking forward to what's to come, or you could obviously be hurt or upset by it. And however you're processing it is how you process this. But these children are choosing to be grateful for what Giannis has done and to love him through this transition and wish him well for all that's to come in Miami.
No, absolutely. I think that's a perfect way to end it too, to like look back at the amazing things, but also look forward and carry out his impact as he would have wanted. Bria, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. And yeah, it's one thing to talk about the kids that you spoke to, but it's another to actually hear them and hear their stories. So looking forward to your reports on Fox 6 News at 4, 5, and 6. Bria, thank you. We're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the economic angle and the impact that this is expected to have on the city of Milwaukee. Keep it right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be right back.
Is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm your host, Maddie Stelk. Our coverage continues of the blockbuster trade reported by ESPN. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis traded to the Miami Heat. Let's give you a live look at Pfizer Forum right now. A lot of reaction pouring in from around Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin as a whole. We've talked a lot about the emotional impact that Giannis has had on the community, as well as Bobby Portis. But also, one thing isn't the economic impact. I mean, we know that Giannis coming to Milwaukee was such he had such a big impact on businesses in the area and restaurants, stores. I mean, there's one named after him. And just looking at that perspective as well, and no one else better to do that than Jason Calvi, who is live from the Deer District right now. Jason, Talk a little bit about, just we've talked again, as I said, like the community impact, but then also how are businesses feeling now that Giannis is leaving?
Well, it's interesting because when you talk to the mayor today, one of the things he said was that there's still going to be interest in the Bucks moving forward, that Giannis helped establish a new fan base for the city, and you can see those numbers increasing inside Fiserv Forum for the games. There was a study actually done in 2014 that found that NBA superstars, we're talking about the real greats, people like Giannis, they help increase attendance at both home and away games, and so there is that economic impact right there when you have a superstar in your home city, Milwaukee here, for example, when they have Giannis playing inside Fiserv Forum, more people are going to show up to the game. They want to see him in action, and that's going to be more money for the city, the restaurants around here, the bars, and more tax money as well, because when these players play in the state of Wisconsin, some of the payment, some of their salary, whether they're the home team or the away team, is going to come to Wisconsin. They do pay income tax where they play. So when they play here in Milwaukee, some of that income tax from their huge salaries is going to go to the state of Wisconsin. So those are some of the things to keep in mind when you're talking about the economic impact of Giannis. Mayor Johnson said he's convinced that people are still going to be excited about the Bucks. They're still going to be interested in the new players that are going to be filling the big hole left by this immense talent, Giannis. But people are still going to be interested in the Bucks moving forward. That's what Mayor Cavalier Johnson is saying today. Speaking of Cavalier, let's move to Cleveland, because Cleveland is a really good test case for us, because you think about that all-star LeBron James playing in his home city of Cleveland, the Cleveland Cavaliers. And at one point in time, guess what? He left his home city. Where did he go, Maddie?
Wait, say that again, Jason. I think we lost you.
When LeBron James left his home city of Cleveland, he was playing for Cleveland. He left and he went to
Chicago?
Miami Heat. So here you see a perfect example of what happens with the economy. So he leaves Cleveland. He goes and plays for the Heat, which is now exactly what Giannis is doing, leaving Milwaukee, going to the Heat. LeBron started with the Cavaliers in 2003, went to the Miami Heat in 2010, and played several seasons in Miami, and then went back and played for the Cavaliers in 2014. So there's some economic researchers who study this, because it's a perfect example of somebody coming to a city, leaving a city, going back to the city. So they have a bunch of data points that they're looking at to figure out, well, what was the economic impact when LeBron James was in the city of Cleveland and when he was in the city of Miami? And what they did was they looked at the number of bars and restaurants, the number of employees that the bars and restaurants had within a mile, within 2 miles, within 3 miles, and then within 7 miles and further out from the two arenas, the one in Cleveland and the one in Miami. And what they found was that when LeBron James left Cleveland, there was a downward trend for businesses around the Cleveland arena and an upward trend of business in Miami. And then when he left Miami, went back to his home city of Cleveland, the same in reverse, where there was a decline in business in Miami around the arena and an increase back in Cleveland. I give you the numbers, Maddie, if you're interested. Let me read those to you. So this is from researchers at the American Enterprise Institute, and we spoke with one of them. So this was a published study by the American Enterprise Institute, which is it's a conservative-leaning, free market economic think tank. They really focus on sort of the traditional free market approach of traditional conservatism here in the United States. So they're based in Washington, D.C. They're well respected as as one of the think tanks in Washington, D.C., I would say. And one of the things that they studied was this whole issue of LeBron James, the superstar basketball player, and what happens when he comes and goes from a particular city. And what they found, I'm just going to quote from the research, his presence increased, this is LeBron James, his presence increased the number of restaurants within 1 mile of a stadium by about 12.8%. So nearly a 13% increase in the number of restaurants when he was in the city versus when he wasn't in the city. And the number of eating and drinking establishments by about 13.7%. and then it decreases over as you get farther out from the stadium. So what they're finding is a hyper-local within 1 mile of the stadium, there's going to be a big boost in business when you have a superstar like LeBron James. And they found as well that this was kind of a bigger impact in Cleveland versus in Miami, and that makes sense because LeBron James' home city was Cleveland. One of the things that was interesting from hearing from our mayor, Cavalier Johnson, here in Milwaukee today is he said, for many Milwaukeeans, it's like this is like Giannis's home city. You know, we saw him grow up. The mayor talked about when he started, he was this lanky, young, very, very young superstar, and he kind of grew over the 13 years that he was here into this mega superstar. And so for many people here in Milwaukee, we heard, from some of the people that were on our shows earlier today, getting very emotional thinking about their quote unquote hometown boy leaving Milwaukee. But this is what happened for Cleveland. And you know what? If it tells you one story of hope, it's that the superstar ended up going back to Cleveland after several seasons in Miami. So, hey, maybe that precedent will come here. Maybe Giannis will go down to Miami, play a couple seasons, and then come back to Milwaukee. We'll see what's in his future.
They say if you love something, set it free. And if it comes back, then it was always yours. So manifesting that maybe that'll happen here with Giannis. And I want to clarify, Jason, I thought you were doing because I'm from Chicago, so I was like, oh, maybe he's trying to throw me in because of that. But keeping me on my toes. Yeah, right. Shout out Jason for crunching the numbers for us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm Maddie Stelk here, 2:30 on your Tuesday afternoon. We're following some big breaking news. We now know for a fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis have been traded to the Miami Heat in a blockbuster trade deal, according to reports from ESPN. We've been talking with our reporters, we've been talking with guests all day, just talking about the impact that these two have had on Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin as a whole. And one of those partnerships was actually with Feeding America for Bobby Portis. Very, very big news here as the emotions are kind of rolling in and people are processing this. But again, Bobby Portis and Feeding America having a big partnership and have since he joined the Bucks pretty much, or ever since in 2021. So we're actually joined right now by Cameron from Feeding America once again. I know we spoke with you earlier here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Want to check in, see how you're feeling, and I guess the big question that everyone's going to be asking is, where were you when you learned the news?
Well, I don't know. Some people might be night owls and found out last night. I woke up and found out the
right
news.
There with you. Yep.
So I did not catch it last night. Maybe I would have had more time to process if I did. But I found out this morning, shocked, surprised, came into the office, and that was really the temperature of everyone here in our office. Just surprised and a little bit of a bittersweet moment for us because we're losing more than just a really great star on the court, in Bobby especially. We're losing a close friend of ours that has, for the last 4 or 5 years, has dedicated a lot of time and energy to our organization, and we will never forget that.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to ask too, because have you gotten the chance to speak with him or speak with anybody on his team ever since the news dropped?
I'm sure he is quite busy today, so we have not spoken. I would imagine that we will touch base sometime very soon. I think one great thing to point out is he is still a member of our board of directors, and unless he decides otherwise, he will remain a member of our board of directors. So we plan to keep close ties to Bobby and keep working directly with him and seeing the best ways that we can impact the city of Milwaukee and all 35 of our eastern Wisconsin counties. And he's been a big part of that, and I expect that to continue even with him on the Miami Heat.
Yeah, and I want to talk too because this partnership has been going on for like 5 years now, I believe. And it started in 2021 when he served as an ambassador for the PB&J Challenge. And then again, as you were saying, was appointed to the board of directors in 2025. Talk about how that relationship evolved and how he ended up on the board.
So everything started with Bobby really having a passion for giving back to families in the city of Milwaukee and greater surrounding counties, giving back to those families that are struggling to make ends meet. He grew up in a single mother household in Arkansas, and his mom worked really hard to provide for him and his brothers growing up. And so joining the Bucks wasn't just another NBA team for him or another stop in his adventure. He really wanted to integrate himself within the community and give back in any way that he could, in addition to being a full-time basketball player. And so it started with Bobby really working with us in small ways, participating in events, becoming the ambassador for the PB&J Challenge, which was a huge step. He was able to leverage his platform to really promote that specific campaign to hundreds of thousands of individuals that already believed in Bobby and trusted Bobby, and really grabbed a hold of everything that he said and posted on his social media. But then as we went through the years, Bobby came to us and said, I want to keep doing more. I don't want it to end with just a campaign ambassadorship. I want to really be ingrained in your organization. He financially backed several mobile pantry distributions where we actually were able to go out into neighborhoods in Milwaukee and distribute boxes of food to neighbors. Big part of that, both on the financial side, but also being there to actually hand out the food, which was phenomenal. All the way to, hey, I want to have a say in how decisions are made within this organization. How can I do that? And then him ending up being a board member of ours and being right there at the table for decisions being made and for considerations being made for families and our pantry partners really gave Bobby a much greater voice and that closeness and connection to our organization that he was looking for.
And I know, as you were mentioning too, that he really cared about the community, and he wasn't just there, for the press or to be like, hey, look at me, I'm I'm doing something good. He really wanted to be there and created those opportunities in a way and was the one reaching out and everything, which is just really cool to see. I mean, we were in our meeting today and we were immediately like, who are the people to contact? And we immediately thought of Feeding America because of just how strong that partnership is. I want to ask, how do you feel like Bobby has, you know, strengthened Feeding America, or what has his impact been like on the organization as a whole since the partnership began?
We're a nonprofit organization that serves 35 counties, but we eventually reach a point where we can't do everything that we want to do. From a reach standpoint, from a financial standpoint, there's so many things that we want to be doing and need to do for the community and for our neighbors. But eventually we have our challenges. Bobby being a part of what we do in our mission opened up a door to greater exposure and greater influence than we can have just as a nonprofit organization and as a food bank. So his voice, his likeness and support of our mission, it's invaluable, and we really couldn't have done some of the things that we've been able to do with Bobby's support, again, both from a financial perspective and just supporting our mission and being there for us. He's done everything from be there for Summerfest opening day to be there for mobile distributions and events. We held an event back in May called Grateful Plate. It's a fundraising event of ours. And Bobby was there the entire night, meeting people, shaking hands, and talking to individuals about why it's so important to not only support hunger relief efforts, but make that extra step to make a donation. And so we could not have done a lot of things without him, and we're just very grateful for all the time that we have had with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure you were at a lot of these events that he was present at. Did you have any personal interactions with him? Is there anything that you're always going to remember about Bobby and his contributions to the organization?
So I've had the pleasure of getting to work directly with Bobby on everything that we've done. I think my best memories are the commercial spots that we've done with Bobby promoting the PB&J Challenge specifically. Because in each and every one of those, his personality has come out. And sometimes when he's on the court, he's very focused. He will go to defend his teammates, and sometimes that can look a certain way where it's like, wow, that's a tough guy. But when we did these commercial spots with Bobby, his sense of humor, his genuine care and concern for others came out in such a great way that I'm always going to have the memories of just his giant smile and his ability to just like open up, be funny and be himself, and really just kind of bring his own sense of humor to everything that he does off the court.
Yeah, that's such a cool experience and cool memories that you get to have. And also great to know that, you know, the partnership isn't ending, but will rather be a long distance relationship, if you will, down in Miami. Cameron with Feeding America, thank you so much for joining us here again on the Wisconsin Live Desk. And hey, if you do hear from Bobby, let us know, because I'm curious about what he's got to say if you do get a hold of him. I know we're trying as well, so we'll see.
I don't know how I wasn't his first call today.
Right,
I don't know how that didn't happen.
Yeah, now like a FaceTime, a text maybe. Oh my gosh, funny. Thank you so much, Cameron, for joining us. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Our coverage here continues over this blockbuster trade deal being reported by ESPN. Bobby Portis and Giannis Antetokounmpo traded to the Miami Heat. We've talked economic impact, community impact. That's all going to continue here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We are extended until 4 o'clock here. And hey, whether you're watching us on your mobile app. I also would want to direct you to YouTube if you want to join in on the conversation. We do have a chat panel open for a chance to be featured here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Here's one of those comments right now from Jeff saying, I was mentally prepared for Giannis, but not Bobby. And I think that's the reaction of a lot of people here. And then looking at both of their impacts, because Bobby Portis also a big fan favorite that shouldn't be forgotten within that headline. But again, keep it right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Our coverage over this trade deal continues all the way till 4 o'clock. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm Maddie Stelk here, 2:45 on your Tuesday afternoon, following some big news following the trade deal reported by ESPN. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis traded to the Miami Heat. Again, you can tap into the conversation. A lot of reaction pouring in on our YouTube right now for a chance to be featured. Again, this is a message from Jeff saying, I was mentally prepared for Giannis, but not Bobby. Definitely a shock to the Milwaukee area as well as around the state of Wisconsin and even the U.S. as a whole. I know we've been talking a lot about impact, community impact, and I know one thing that we can see for sure is at the mural for Giannis Antetokounmpo, where Bill Miston is live right now. And as we were talking about here, we're just getting reaction on X, and this is one saying, guessing the Giannis mural will become a memorial of sorts today, and that's definitely reigned true. Let's bring in Bill Miston right now, live at the mural, as we were saying. Bill, talk about what you're seeing and what's been going on over there.
Well, there's a guy here without a shirt on, so I mean, that's new for the day.
Oh.
But it's definitely become a really kind of like a pilgrimage site. You know, there's the pilgrimage site up in New Franklin, just outside of Green Bay, and maybe this is going to become one here in the state of Wisconsin now that Giannis Antetokounmpo is heading to South Beach. Been out here since about 10 a.m. Even that people were coming here, taking pictures with, as you can see, the three-story mural. This was put up in 2022 after the Bucks championship prior year. I spoke to the artist, Mauricio Ramirez, today. He, too, I mean, it had been rumored and suspected as a possibility, but still that news really hard to wake up with in the morning. And really that's what a lot of fans were coming here and saying to us as well, was that they knew that this was a possibility, but it's still really hard to take in and to see him go someplace else, as well as Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis, a huge fan favorite with fans here in the Milwaukee Bucks. And obviously just he was the, the unofficial mayor of the city of Milwaukee during his time here as well. One dad I spoke with said that his daughter, she's 4 years old. She's, loves Bobby Portis. One of the first things that she was able to do was to be able to chant his name. And so definitely a lot of commiserating, a lot of sadness, but still some well-wishing for Giannis and Bobby as they head to South Beach.
Yeah, and this news broke late last night. I mean, I found out when I woke up this morning because I go to bed pretty early. But people just went to where you're standing, like right away. It was like an unspoken thing. A lot of people just headed there now. What's the vibe like there right now? Are people reminiscing? Are they upset? Have you gotten the chance to speak to a lot of people who've been there?
Yeah, I spoke to a number of people this morning and just people taking pictures and talking about Giannis's time here with the Bucks, and that it's sad to see him go. There's also kind of been a little makeshift memorial. Let me see if I can flip this camera around here for you. Go. You can see kind of a memorial growing here at the base of the mural. Someone taped appears to be, can't see the date, but it's definitely likely from the Journal Sentinel, from when Giannis was obviously a lot younger, and looks like it was at least 2023. So a couple years old newspaper there. Empty Miller High Life can, a bouquet of flowers, Giannis bobblehead, T-shirt, and Sports Illustrated. So lots of things here as a growing memorial right here below at the base of the three-story Giannis mural.
I want to ask, because I know you spoke with the artist, you said Mauricio earlier. I'm sure he's seen maybe on social media some of the memorials that are happening at this mural. What was his reaction, just kind of recognizing the impact that just the mural itself has had on the city of Milwaukee?
I think it's just a testament to Giannis's time here and how the city of Milwaukee embraced him and he embraced the city back, and that he hopes that the mural will continue to be a place where people remember what Giannis brought to the city, and that he was here for more than a decade. He was here for his first 13 years in the NBA playing professional basketball, and just his story and how it resonates with so many people here.
Yeah, absolutely. And do we know For sure. I know there's been talk on social media, people wondering if the mural is going to stay. Is it going to go? I know you spoke with Mauricio directly. Did he speak to that at all?
Yeah, he hopes that it stays. He would anticipate that it does. It was done in a collaboration with him, the 600 East building, the Bucks, and the downtown business district. So he doesn't anticipate it's going anywhere, and hopes that it continues to be a mural in memoriam in some ways for Giannis's time here in Milwaukee.
I want to ask, is the artist in town? Has he been able to come since the news broke?
No, he's actually out of town. So we spoke via Zoom today, and we'll be having that coming up here at FOX6 News at 4, 5, and 6.
Looks like there's people taking a picture there behind you of the mural, maybe a group. Just goes to show, the impact there. Wow,
see there.
Yeah. And the shirtless guy is helping them. Look at that. We love the Milwaukee community, and, it obviously just goes to show Giannis's impact. Is that Andrew in the back too?
That is Andrew Amuzu right behind me. He's off the clock, but still working.
Oh yeah, honestly, such a cool site to go to there.
Oh my God! Oh, here we go.
I told you, Andrew. I would.
You sure did.
I would call you out.
You're a man of your word.
Yep.
I know Andrew was there early in the morning.
This is Maddie's. Yeah.
Can he speak to how it's evolved since he was there early this morning?
Andrew, how has it evolved since you were here?
Definitely didn't see that big coming in, so definitely a lot more people, and I didn't see this guy with his shirt off either. But obviously more people.
It's cooler by the lake,
I guess it is cooler by you. Yeah, you know what I mean. Maybe I should get out of this too. It is. So
well, hey, this is wild, baby.
And for those of people who might be seeing this mural and being like, where is this? Where exactly, what are your street corners? Kind of talk about where you're at.
Yeah, so it's at Wisconsin and Jackson, the kitty corner from the federal courthouse, just on the 600 East Wisconsin. So that's the 600 East building that the mural is on, and that is where the mural is at. So 600 East Wisconsin, if you want to join others that maybe are coming to pay their respects in some regards to Giannis heading to South Beach.
When we talk community impact, obviously a lot of people there. Have you seen strangers, any interactions between strangers who have both come to this mural, just helping each other, or conversations that they've been having?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, definitely people are talking about it when they come here and talking to others. Lots of journalists are here also getting video and doing interviews with everyone, because we knew that this was going to be a hot spot for people once news broke that Giannis was leaving Milwaukee, and that, his image towers over this part of town because of the mural, and really like his legacy here in the city of Milwaukee, of how much he was involved. And so it's definitely tough for people, and lots of commiserating, and really can't believe that he's gone.
Hard to miss for sure. Any tears, I have to ask, from anyone?
Not for me. There was one guy that I did talk to that he just still seemed like he was in shock. He's 18 years old. Anthony Alvarez, he had heard about it last night, went to bed, and he said he woke up and it still feels like it's a dream that Giannis was traded to the Miami Heat. So I asked him if he was doing okay, because he didn't look like he was doing okay, and he said he was, but I don't know how much stock I put in that.
Yeah, a lot of, we could call it trauma bonding maybe. A lot of people headed over here to kind of cope with the news there. Looking forward to your reports, though, on FOX6 News at 4, 5, and 6, where you actually get to talk to the artist himself. Will, thank you so much for joining us here on the live desk. I am going to let you go. And again, if you do want to visit that mural, popping right now. Weather seems good, as Bill was saying. Maybe you can chat with him, get him another interview for our later evening newscast. We're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're getting more reaction in from X right now. We're going to bring that to you. And again, hey, if you want to join us on YouTube, you can join the conversation. We can feature your comments right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and we can chat about this, because again, a lot of emotions here. I'll take you to this poll that we have right now. How are you feeling today now that the Giannis trade has happened? Mental health check. 51% of you say you're sad, understandable, anxious, happy, angry, hurt, hopeful. Again, I think some of the the people that we've talked to, I mean, with one of the organizers of Feeding America, or even when Bria was talking to the kids from Evolve Church who actually got to meet him, a very bittersweet and a little bit surreal day here in Milwaukee. And hey, you're allowed to feel how you feel. It's good to get it out and get it out there. I know it is a sad day, but also goes to show the impact that Giannis and Bobby Portis both had on the city of Milwaukee. We're going to take a quick break on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Again, watch us on YouTube if you want to join in on the conversation. We'll be right back with more coverage. Stay with us.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Our coverage of the trade for Giannis and Bobby Portis continues here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Let's give you a live look at Pfizer Forum right now as reaction is just pouring in around the city of Milwaukee and really the state of Wisconsin and the country as a whole right now. Giannis, such a pillar in building, the city of Milwaukee's fan base for the Bucks over the last few years here. Again, we're getting a lot of reaction on social media, including, this is from the county executive, David Crowley of Milwaukee County. Very, very lengthy message here from him. This is just part of it. It actually got cut off. But yeah, it's saying Giannis Antetokounmpo helped transform not only the Milwaukee Bucks, but our entire community. Since arriving to Milwaukee in 2013, Giannis has done more than become one of the greatest players in NBA history. He made Milwaukee County his home. He built a life here and welcomed his family into our community. Over the past 13 years, Milwaukee embraced Giannis, and Giannis embraced Milwaukee in return, creating a bond that extends far beyond basketball. Gosh, guys, I'm going to have to catch my breath. This is a very, very long message. He goes on to say, upon the heels of the Bucks NBA championship victory in 2021, there was an unmatched sense of excitement across Milwaukee County, from the electric atmosphere that filled our neighborhoods after Game 6 to the pride we all felt during the championship parade. We would not have those memories without our MVP. Giannis has always carried himself with humility, determination, and a deep appreciation for Milwaukee. As county executive and a proud Bucks season ticket holder, I've had the opportunity to see firsthand the impact Giannis has had both on and off the court. He put Milwaukee on the world stage, invested in our community, and inspired countless young people to believe that anything is possible through hard work and perseverance. While Bucks fans across Milwaukee County are saddened to see him leave, we are also incredibly grateful for everything he gave to this organization and our region. His legacy will forever be a part of Milwaukee's story. The memories he created, the championship he helped deliver, and the pride he brought to our city will not be forgotten. Finally, in the final paragraph here says, on behalf of Milwaukee County, I want to thank Giannis for his years of leadership, his commitment to our community, and the joy he brought to so many Milwaukeeans. We wish him, Mariah, and their entire family continued success and happiness in this next chapter. Milwaukee will always be home to Giannis Antetokounmpo. What a great way to end that there. Again, we were talking with Jason Calvi earlier about economic impact a little bit when he was analyzing, the numbers for LeBron James and how he went to Cleveland and then to Miami. But then again, remember, they can always come back. And we hope that stays true for Giannis to know that he's always welcome in Milwaukee. So for those of you who are maybe not being so nice on social media, hey, you know what? We got to keep it open because he could be coming back. You never know. Maybe I'm coping and I'm in denial. But again, the door is always open, and city leaders here making it very clear that that's true. We're also getting reaction from the mayor a little bit, especially amid concerns that, this might affect the economic impact on Milwaukee and also businesses. As we know, Giannis and Bobby Portis both big impact on the Bucks fan base, kind of creating a whole new era for the franchise there. He spoke earlier this morning with reporters following the news. We're going to bring you a little bit of that press conference, hopefully uninterrupted with ads. So let's take you there right now. This is Mayor Cavalier Johnson this morning following the news that Bobby Portis and Giannis Antetokounmpo were traded to the Miami Heat. Again, this is all according to reports from ESPN.
For being here. It's a bittersweet day in Milwaukee. It's bitter because Giannis and Bobby Portis as well are leaving Milwaukee, and they have been just incredible assets in this community. This is beyond basketball. These gentlemen have been an integral part of our community for so many years. Of course, everybody will point to the NBA championship from a couple of years ago, and that was wonderful and great and created so much pride in Milwaukee and in the Milwaukee Bucks. But it's even beyond that. I mean, the work and the giving back that Giannis has done in our community over the years has been remarkable. His wife Mariah has stepped up, working to make sure that women in particular with the Milwaukee Diaper Mission got the resources that they need for themselves and for their children. Bobby Portis has been a champion on reckless driving and other initiatives, back to school efforts and all that. So again, this is beyond basketball. I think folks are going to remember very fondly the time that we had in this city with Giannis, with Bobby, everything that they've contributed to our community. The mural for Giannis still stands, and I, for one, as a mayor, will always remember sharing the stage with Bobby Portis as a fellow mayor. So I think there's going to be a lot of sad folks, but we're all looking forward to what's next. This era of Bucks basketball is over, but as we all know, sports change. They constantly do. There's always a constant churn, and I'm excited to see what the next chapter brings.
How do you even begin to take over, given how much of a brand ambassador Giannis was for the city? How do you even start to replace that?
Giannis is a one-of-a-kind person. He grew up here. He really did. He was, I think I saw an ESPN write-up. He was, some lanky kid. Now he's a jacked world champion who has got, so many accolades, to his name. But it didn't start off that way, though. Like, he had to earn that, and he fought for that and worked, very hard in honing his craft in order for that to happen. So the next chapter in Bucks basketball will have to do the same thing if they want to live up to the stature that Giannis has created here.
As mayor, do you get any kind of heads up that this type of major announcement is coming?
I think they played this close to the chest, so maybe another mayor got it, but he probably plays on the team.
How did you find out?
Just like you all did. Just read the news and get informed by folks, and that's how I find out.
You talk about looking forward. There has to be an economic impact potentially, though, when a city like Milwaukee loses a superstar like Giannis.
Yeah, certainly look at Deer District, look at Pfizer Forum. It's kind of like the house that Giannis built. And nobody does it alone, obviously. That entire Bucks team and the foresight of the owners, and namely Herb Cole and the previous set of owners as well, did a phenomenal job building basically the newest neighborhood in Milwaukee. But I think, though, that the speculation about what comes next will also be something that helps to spur the economy locally here. Folks are going to be curious about what happens with the Bucks. Folks are going to be curious about what the next team looks like and what the next several years with this basketball organization looks like as well. So I think you'll still have people who are, diehard Bucks fans, season ticket holders, folks who cheer on the team. That, I think, is one of the things that we will benefit as a community from having with Giannis and Bobby and the whole crew, is that there's a whole new generation of folks out there who are avid Bucks fans. I think will still show up.
How would you describe the growth of the fan base and just kind of the city culture for the Bucks itself, from when Giannis started developing here in Milwaukee up until becoming a full-fledged superstar, and then obviously reaching that apex of winning a championship and having that parade in Milwaukee? Kind of explain that impact on the fan base and the culture of enjoying the Bucks.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was talking about just a second ago. I mean, I think people overall, especially in the time that I have grown up here, they've gotten so much more of an appreciation for the Milwaukee Bucks, so much more of an appreciation for having an NBA team headquartered here in our city. And with the success that the Bucks have had over the course of the last number of years, I think more and more people have been drawn in to Bucks fandom. And I think there are a lot of folks, again, who are just diehard fans of the Milwaukee Bucks, want to see the team do well, want to see the city do well, and will continue to show up and will continue to support the Bucks because it's a part of our culture, it's a part of our DNA now. And I think that's in large part because of the contributions of Giannis.
One thing I hear from this morning from a number of community members is not just the impact they had on the city, but also their character, Giannis and Bobby Portis. I know you've shared personal experiences with them. Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, these guys, right? I mean, they climbed the mountain, right? They made it all the way to the top. Especially Giannis' story, right? Being an immigrant, trying to hone his craft. I talked about when he first got here, and I'm sure that in your news coverage you'll show pictures of when he first came to Milwaukee, and he was a lanky, skinny kid. Right, and look at him now. Like he's a grown man. He grew up here and helped to build a franchise that hadn't won an NBA championship in 50 years, right? And even through all of that, stayed as humble as anybody could be. That's something that I really, really appreciate. And I also appreciate, even though, he's got all the money in the world, he's got these supermax contracts and all that sort of stuff, he's got that Milwaukee frugality about himself as well here too. So that just goes to show that he really embedded himself in this community. So there's that. But then, as I mentioned before, he also gave back. He himself gave back. His wife, Mariah, gave back. Bobby, did as well here too. I think that's also part of the reason why people have such an affinity for the Milwaukee Bucks now, is because over the course of the last number of years, they didn't just apply their craft on the basketball court. They did it in the community as well. And folks, I think, really, really have an appreciation for the players and the team overall because of that.
Well, you touched on Pfizer Forum and Deer District and, the long-term impact that Giannis and Bobby have had on the team. Now that this is kind of a building time for the team, do you have any concerns about business kind of fizzling out while the team reconstructs long term?
No, again, I think that people will continue to be interested in what happens with the Milwaukee Bucks, especially as we head into this next chapter of the Bucks organization. But you have to remember as well, though, Pfizer Forum in Deer District plays home and host to more than just basketball. There are a number of excellent, wonderful events that happen at Pfizer Forum, many days throughout the year outside of when the NBA is in town. Whether that's, Monster Jam, whether it's, concerts, whether it's, WWE, the list goes on and on and on. And that attracts people down to Deer District. It attracts people down to restaurants. I think Deer District will be fine.
One more question.
Do you you mentioned the mural? Do you foresee any other honoring him, maybe a street named or a statue, something in the near future?
Look, this is real fresh. I think all of us are still reeling from it. All of us, love Giannis. That's why I wanted to have a conversation with you all about it, just to let my feelings be known. I think, my sentiments are the same as a lot of people across Milwaukee. So we can have conversations about what that all looks like. But again, it's very, very fresh right now. So we're all just kind of taking it in.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Fresh indeed. For those of you just tuning in, we have extended coverage here on Fox Local after following the news from ESPN reports that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis have been traded to the Miami Heat. That was just from a press conference with Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson, just kind of talking about how he's like, I found out just like you guys did when I woke up this morning, or maybe for some of you night owls who found out late last night. We've had such a packed day here on the Wisconsin Live Desk talking to our reporters. We spoke with Cameron from Feeding America, Tim Van Voren, just talking about the impact that not only Giannis but also Bobby Portis has had on the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin as a whole. Again, let's take you back out to Pfizer Forum again. Really surreal day for people in Milwaukee right now. Reaction just pouring in here on social media. I know we've been hearing a lot from fans, actually. We're going to bring you those comments right after the break. And also, again, if you want to tap in, wherever you're watching us, if it's on your Fox Local mobile app, I encourage you to maybe get our YouTube stream going, because we have a comment panel open where we can hear from you. We want to hear your comments, guys. We love Jeff, but we want to show more comments other than just this one. He says, I was mentally prepared for Giannis, but not Bobby, which I think is a sentiment a lot of people can share. Because, the Giannis trade rumors are not a new thing, but Bobby Portis also being traded to Miami Heat coming as a bit of a shock to a lot of people in the city of Milwaukee. We're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, but again, we are extended, uninterrupted, all the way from now until 11 o'clock tonight. That's right. We are going to continue streaming in between our 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock newscast. So keep it right here on Fox Local. We've got you covered all things Giannis and Bobby on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Again, blockbuster deal, reaction just pouring in after the news of Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis getting traded to the Miami Heat ahead of the NBA draft tonight. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live. The Wisconsin Live Desk.
surreal day for people in Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin as a whole, following news from ESPN reporting that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis have been traded to the Miami Heat, ending a pretty long tenure for Giannis specifically of 13 years, Bobby Portis about 6. So yeah, reaction just pouring in across the city and the state of Wisconsin. Let's give you a live look again at Pfizer Forum. I mean, I guess you could say that, you know, following the 2021 championship really just changed the franchise for the Bucks as a whole, creating a whole new set of fans and a whole new fan base, especially Giannis Antetokounmpo and just all of his stats and records. We're actually going to check in with sports director Tim Van Voren in just a little bit to hear more about that and reflect on the impact that both of these players have had on the Milwaukee Bucks franchise. We're actually getting reaction, though, on X right now from fans. This is from Aaron saying, I met Bobby Portis once. My school's student council did the Feeding America's peanut butter and jelly drive, and they had a bowling night for the schools with him. He signed anything the kids handed him and answered their questions. He was so sweet to them. Hard loss for Milwaukee. We did actually just talk with Cameron from Feeding America, who I believe can attest to what Aaron is saying here, just talking about how Bobby wasn't just there for the press, wasn't there to just say that he was doing something good. He really wanted to be there and really created those opportunities and such a strong partnership that he has with the organization. And again, Cameron said, just because Bobby is leaving does not mean that the partnership will end, but will rather continue now long distance from Miami. Let's see if we can get any other reactions pulled up. Let's see here from John saying, my wife and I bought this after 2021 to drink when the Bucks won their second ring with Giannis. I guess tonight, parentheses, this morning we'll have to do instead. Again, this was posted late last night when the news actually just dropped. I know a lot of you, including me, were sleeping when this happened. So again, woke up to the news that Giannis was traded along with Bobby Portis. But again, what a cool bottle. Unfortunate that it had to be opened, you know, probably earlier than John and his wife were expecting. But yeah, just showing that the impact that Giannis had and the hope that he had for the city of Milwaukee and the Bucks franchise. Let's see if we've got any others up. Giannis sacrificed the talent in Milwaukee so the Brewers could win a World Series. Interesting way to look at that there. But yeah, interesting reaction pouring in. I know a lot of people may be in denial. A lot of people may be turning their focus to the Brewers. But again, I was even talking with our streaming EP, Carrie Doctor, just kind of talking about how we've really been spoiled here in Milwaukee with just some of the talent that's been brought in on all fronts when it comes to the Bucks and the Brewers. Just, you know, kind of talking about all the talent that we've had through the years. I mean, with Christian Yelich, and also now we've got Jacob Misiorowski. So again, yeah, a lot of people, coping mechanism, maybe you could say, after hearing the news, are now turning their focus onto the Brewers. Let's see if we got any others up here. Everything reminds me of him, and of course it's the sign-in, maybe I think for Google, with number 34, which is, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo's number there. We feel you, Lainey. This is a tough day for the city of Milwaukee and a lot of Bucks fans. Do we have any others, Delaney? Let's see. This legit feels like a bad breakup. Can't stop looking at old pictures of Giannis and just had to change my lock screen. Yes, very, very tough. I know a lot of diehard Bucks fans out there, especially after 2021. I know a lot of people reminiscing on the championship. Delaney, would you say that this is as bad as a breakup? Or maybe worse?
I know, it feels a little unreal still.
I know. I wonder if Tim's got his, I don't think he does. Oh, he does? Tim, do you want to tap into this before your hit? Does this feel like somebody said, this legit feels like a bad breakup, can't stop looking at old pictures of Giannis and just had to change my lock screen? Does this feel like a breakup to you?
There's a lot of hipness there, Maddie, with the lock screen, et cetera. But the bad breakup analogy, you can see that, and it kind of has been coming for a little while, right? You know, right. You were all the warmth and fuzziness of a new relationship. It lasted so long, and in the last year and a half, you could tell it was fraying. So lock screen change.
Honestly, I feel like better that you could see it coming, just as, you know, sticking with that breakup analogy could go both ways. I feel like people had time to process and kind of cope, and now it's finally here.
I'm not sure that we'll ever find out. It's not you, it's me. I'm not sure, you know, was it Giannis? Was it the Bucks? You know, things did start to fray, as I said there a moment ago. But in totality, they're going to look back and be all fine. But this is a tough day. It's a pivot day.
No, absolutely, yeah. And that's just a little teaser because Tim Van Voren is going to be joining us from the newsroom in just a little bit, but had to get his insight there as he's standing by. But yeah, just looking in, a lot of emotional reaction here. Delaney, do we have any others? Any other? The Spirit one? We can take that one. I think that'll be fine. A lot of people cracking jokes, maybe coping with humor, if you will. Just taking a look at the Antetokounmpo Bros store, turning it into, wow, that was quick. Obviously, this is Photoshop, not real, saying that it's going to become a Spirit Halloween, just kind of going with the whole joke and meme on X about how, you know, vacant stores become Spirit Halloweens and things like that. Of course, hopefully, we hope that does not happen to any of the businesses here in Milwaukee and are trying to have a positive outlook here. But again, we did tease that Tim Van Voren would be joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk momentarily. Again, here's a live look at Pfizer Forum. We're going to continue to bring your reaction here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Again, we are extended to 4 o'clock before our evening newscast. And then again, we'll be live at 8 prior to the NBA draft. But again, keep it right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Tim Van Voren standing by in the newsroom with the latest, but that'll be right back. Wow, guys, can't even talk. Crazy emotional day, but we'll be right back on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Stay with us. 3:24 p.m. on your Tuesday afternoon. Again, we are on till 4 on the Wisconsin Live Desk before our early evening newscast. Let's give you a live look at Pfizer Forum, and our extended coverage is because of some pretty big news that we've been following all day. ESPN reporting that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis traded to the Miami Heat. We were just talking with sports director Tim Van Voren, just kind of saying, the Giannis news was something that, we were anticipating for a while now, but Bobby kind of coming as more of a shock to Milwaukee. But again, a major loss, both of these players here. I'm going to bring in Tim actually right now, joining us from the newsroom. A privilege to have you on not once but twice on the Wisconsin Live Desk here. Tim, I want to start mental health check. We have a poll going right now. How are you feeling today now that the Giannis trade has happened?
My choices are sad, anxious, happy, hopeful, hurt, or angry, Maddie? Hopeful, always hopeful.
Yes.
Always hopeful.
Hopeful, and yeah, we have things to look forward to. We got to get back to business because, again, we've got the NBA draft happening tonight at, we did say 7 our time, I believe, correct?
Yep. 7 our time is the first pick, the Washington Wizards. Bucks will pick 10th, and then the Miami Heat will pick 13th, but that's actually a Bucks selection based on the trade last night, unless the Bucks package those 2 trade picks and move up even higher into the lottery. So there is still a lot to be paying attention to tonight and to be hopeful about, Matt.
Absolutely, and let's talk about what we got here, just the package itself for what the Bucks got. And how do you think this will maybe affect the Bucks draft pick tonight?
I don't know that this package will stay intact in terms of this is who will go to the roster to start the next season for the Bucks. Tyler Hero, for instance, the Whitnall High School product, is rumored to still be a possible trade candidate. The Bucks could move him on to another team, so stay tuned for that. You're looking at these names here, and I would tell you that there's talent there. Tyler Hero's an NBA All-Star. Khalil Ware, inconsistent, but a good young big man. He had some flashes so far in his Miami Heat career. Jaime Jaquez, kind of a surprising NBA player. He's been good out of UCLA. His sister, an NCAA champ last year. Come on now, Maddie. And then Yakashonas, always one of our favorites. Or is our producer, Michael Atterbury, here. He loves Yakashonas, used to be mentioned by Greg Gard on the Fox 6 Blitz Open. Maddie, you're aware of that, Yakashonas. So he comes, and then you get the draft picks as well. So this is what the Bucks have coming in. What's going out? You mentioned Bobby Portis. That's a significant loss for the Milwaukee community and obviously for the Bucks as a basketball team, and of course Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so what goes out, Maddie, is 2 more pieces from that championship team that wasn't all that long ago, but in sports, it turns over quickly.
Yeah, I feel like, too, that some of the people listed here are kind of being overlooked just because there's so much emotion surrounding the trade with Giannis and Bobby. And I also know you mentioned Yakashonas, actually U of I alum, if I'm not mistaken, but also he's not the only one who could potentially be coming back to the Midwest. I know you mentioned Tyler Hero, too, actually from Southeast Wisconsin. Kind of talk about, his stats that are up here.
Yeah, Tyler Hero, a terrific player out of Whitnall High School. His younger brothers are also good basketball players. He's become an NBA All-Star. He can definitely put the ball in the basket. He's become a man in Miami. He's become a father. He's grown his family. He's had a lot going on off the court. He has a big contract that's compensated him very well. If he ends up playing for the Milwaukee Bucks, that would be a homecoming. Pretty cool. I know he used to be excited to play in the big arenas when he was a high schooler. If it meant the chance to play over for Marquette or at Pfizer Forum before a Bucks game, that sort of thing. To think that he could be out there lining up as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks would be cool for him, I know. So his family is still here, and the Hero name is a big basketball name here in southeastern Wisconsin.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I know one of the reasons why the reaction is so strong is not just because of Giannis's stats on the court, but also his involvement off of the court as well. If any of these players, I know we talked about how none of these players, it's not final. We don't know for sure if they will be coming to Milwaukee. But what do you think it's going to take for them to, gain that relationship and that trust with the city like, the city had with Bobby and also Giannis?
I have to believe each of the guys on that list are going to be going through an adjustment period, Maddie. The lifestyle down in Miami, playing for the Miami Heat is one thing. You come to Milwaukee, that's another. The expectations for the team are probably middling at this point. I know in general, NBA experts are saying the Bucks did well in this trade. There are some detractors who say, the Bucks are not going to be a good basketball team next year. So there's an adjustment for those guys moving here to Milwaukee. They're going to be in the spotlight because they came team in a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the best players in NBA history. That's always going to be on their transaction resume. So I think getting into the community, getting immersed with the community, that's probably on the list of some of those guys, but I think basketball is probably number one, and just changing their lifestyle, that's probably going to be high on the list as well.
Yeah, and all eyes are on the Bucks right now, especially following this news, but also ahead of the draft tonight. Are there any prospects or people rumored to be the pick for the Milwaukee Bucks?
It could be any number of players, Maddie. This is considered to be a good draft class, young players in particular, going back to 10. Some people are saying going back to 10. Some people are saying go back to 15. Well, the Bucks are going to have 2 of the top 13 selections as it stands right now. That is a chance to recharge your roster. The Bucks don't have a lot of draft capital because of trades they've made in recent seasons, so they need to make these picks count. If you hit on 1 or 2 of these picks tonight, this whole trade changes around a little bit. It's an opportunity for John Horst and his front office staff, Dave Dean and folks, Milton Newton, for those guys to get these picks right. And I'm assuming it's been interesting for them to evaluate, which players they could go for. If they had the 10th pick, we'd be looking at this type of player. If we didn't get another pick in this draft, we'd be done at that. Now they get another pick last night, so they pretty quickly have to say, well, here are the guys that we would be interested in. So I'm sure it's a very fluid situation inside the Bucks offices this afternoon.
How do you see this? I want to ask for the franchise. Do you see this as like a clean slate of them looking to rebuild, or something that they're going to be building off of with the people that they still have?
Maddie, to be realistic, the Bucks won the NBA championship in 2021, and playoff success has been elusive since then. They were a good team, but they just couldn't time things out right in the postseason. A cynic would say, this team could have started on the rebuild even earlier. They just haven't done much in the postseason the last few years for a variety of reasons. So those people would be saying it's time to do this. It's time to make the break. It's time to go forward. Obviously, clinging to Giannis, the Bucks did that for the last couple of seasons. Let's put Damian Lillard around him. Let's bring in Miles Turner. Let's bring in some players to try to compete and stay near the top, or stay at least in hailing distance of the top. And that didn't work either. So, is this a fair, clean slate? Probably. Your roster is going to look a whole lot different. If you go down that list, Maddie, I'm not sure that a lot of casual basketball fans could identify too many players on that list at this point.
And I want to ask, because Tim, obviously you're no stranger to Southeast Wisconsin. You've been here covering sports for so many years now. How have you seen the Bucks franchise evolve from pre-2021 to post-2021?
Pre-2021, they were still trying to build. They had been, in the wasteland, really, in the NBA. They obviously were coming from the Bradley Center at that point, moving over to Fiserv Forum. Giannis Antetokounmpo and really Jabari Parker was seen as a bigger draft choice at the time. Those two were going to be the building blocks for this team, the young guys to turn things around. Jabari Parker battled injuries, never really materialized in terms of an NBA player. And then, obviously, Giannis just kept stepping forward. And they got Chris Middleton. I don't want to say a throw-in in a trade, but he was not the big piece of a trade with the Detroit Pistons, and then he exploded to become an all-star player himself. So they hit right with some of those guys. They were able to put pieces together. Obviously, the acquisition of Drew Holiday, the acquisition of Brook Lopez, those are big-time names. Those are NBA names. That's where the Bucks realized they were a serious team. They weren't that type of team prior to 2021. And then since then, they held on to some of those players, as some of those guys battled injuries and age and tried to recapture what they had during their championship season. And that didn't really work either, largely because Giannis himself was battling injuries as well. So the Bucks went for it. There's no question. They tried to grab the brass ring. They were at times for a 3-4 year period the best team in the NBA, but only one time were they the best team at the end of the NBA season.
And again, none of this obviously official yet that the trade has happened, but again, we are following reports from ESPN. Again, no word from the Bucks organization right now addressing this trade deal. When do you think we're going to hear from the Bucks, and what do you think they would say?
Well, we're going to hear from John Horst tonight in terms of the draft, Maddie, and then it'll be interesting to see how much he can say regarding this trade with Giannis Antetokounmpo. You're right, it's not an official trade, but everybody knows this is how it works in the NBA. Sometimes it takes a while to become official, but deals have been done. That is what has transpired here. But with the draft tonight, whether it's one pick, if they move up, whether it's 10 and 13 tonight, it's the first round of the NBA draft tonight. The second round will be tomorrow. So John Horst, and maybe he'll be joined by an owner tonight. We'll see, one of the co-owners. They will be addressing the Bucks situation. How much we'll hear, how much they feel capable of being able to address, that will be tonight. So we will get some sort of Bucks comment tonight. How much they can go into in depth on the Giannis situation remains to be seen. We'll have all that for you here later tonight, of course, on Fox 6, over the air, online. A lot of ways to get it, Fox Local, and we're going to have it. We're going to build up to it, and we're going to have it here because this is a landmark day in Milwaukee sports. Maddie.
No, absolutely. And as Tim mentioned, we are going to be on Fox Local extending our coverage starting at 8 o'clock to cover the NBA draft. Tim, I want to ask you, because I'm bringing up our poll again, and you said that you're feeling hopeful, but you are unfortunately not in the majority here. A lot of people very sad, others angry. Some say they're anxious, happy, hurt. A lot of people are wondering what this means for the city of Milwaukee. I said, quote, to Carrie Doctor this morning, are we cooked? I want to hear what you say. What's your message to people who might be really hurt by this news right now?
Well, I would understand the hurt. I guess I would say that first and foremost, that's justified. Giannis Antetokounmpo here for 13 years, did so much right on the court and off. I mean, you could not ask for more of a professional athlete. And I know he touched a lot of people personally. Pictures of him at autograph signings or pictures of him, when he was getting his driver's license. For goodness sake, Maddie, this is a guy who's grown up here. Bucks fans have seen him growing up. Milwaukeeans have seen him grow up and have become attached to him. So I think sadness is certainly understandable. But in professional sports, there are trades. I had a friend, longtime NFL employee, texted me today. Which saga do you rang worse for you, Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers or Giannis? I mean, at the time, these are tantamount to unbelievable. It's never going to be like this again. And then time does move on. So. I can understand the sadness, and I'm not trying to trumpet hope like a member of the Milwaukee Bucks organization, but you always have to be hopeful as far as I'm concerned as you view these trades because they're done. Giannis is with another team now. Bobby Portis is with another team now. These guys who come to Milwaukee will have their chance to make inroads in the community and will have their chance to do something on the court. The Bucks have a new coach. They're going to play 82 games this regular season, no matter what the expectations are upon them.
Absolutely. I think a good way to end things there. And also they took a chance on Giannis, so maybe coming on the heels of the NBA draft could have a pick that could follow in his footsteps.
I think you bring up a good point there, Maddie, and it goes back to what I said just a moment ago. If you dialed this thing back 15 years ago, Jabari Parker was where you put all the eggs in the basket, and Giannis was an unknown commodity. And as we sit here today, Giannis has a mural in downtown Milwaukee. He's an NBA champ. He's one of the best players in the world. Milwaukee, he touched Milwaukee. Milwaukee touched him. And Jabari Parker, unfortunately, never reached those heights because of injuries. So you just don't know where all this stuff is going.
Absolutely. Tim Van Voren always offering the best insight, especially on such a emotional day here for the city of Milwaukee. Looking forward to your coverage of the NBA draft later tonight at 8 o'clock. Tim, thanks. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. But before we do that, again, live look at Pfizer Forum. Our coverage continues here until 4 o'clock, and then our evening newscast will take you all the way to 6:30. Again, we are talking the big story of the day. Obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis traded to the Miami Heat, according to reports from ESPN. We are expected to hear from the Bucks tonight, at least on the draft. As Tim said, it'll be interesting to hear how much or how little they will be saying when it comes to this kind of bombshell of news that dropped late last night. But again, keep it right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Our coverage does continue right after this short break.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Time check for you, 3:41 on your Tuesday afternoon. Also, mental health check. Let's take a look at our poll here. How are you feeling today now that the Giannis trade has happened? And also, not just limited to Giannis, Bobby Portis as well. 51% of you say you're sad, 14 angry, also 14 of you say you're hopeful. Anxious, hurt, and happy all tied at 7%. Tap into our poll here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We want to know how you're feeling. Again, a mix of emotions happening here in the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin as a whole. We're actually getting more reaction too right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk on our YouTube comment panel. Let's take a look at some of the new comments. Leo and Du Bois. So Leo saying the Miami Heat is cooking. Yeah, Leo, I think maybe that could be in reference to me asking if we were cooked. But again, Leo, we got to stay hopeful. We are not cooked, I promise, if that's what you're referring to. But yes, the Miami Heat, they got some good ones. I mean, that's how it has to go sometimes. But again, they can always come back. You know what I mean? As Jason was talking about, LeBron with going from Cleveland to Miami and then back, got to stay hopeful here. Giannis can come back. Remember, if he loves something, set it free. And what is it, Delaney? If you love something, set it free. If it comes
back to you,
it was yours. Or if it doesn't come back, it was never yours.
Exactly.
And then this is from Artificialista Intelligentia saying, I believe, Artificialist Intelligentia. Guys, this is a very small screen that I'm reading right now, so excuse me if I butchered that there, but saying, thank you, Miami, from taking Giannis from a contender, signed Knicks fans. I believe talking about Boston, the Celtics, who were, in trade talks with the Bucks as well, reportedly. It was between, I think, we were thinking last night the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat, and again, the Heat did get those picks. But again, yeah, talking about the rivalry there between the Celtics and the Knicks following, their win in the NBA championship. But yeah, again, tap in to our live stream on YouTube. We do have a comment panel open where you can join the conversation with us. Again, we are getting a lot of reaction here on Twitter as well. This is from Drake saying, guessing the Giannis mural will become a memorial of sorts today, and he was correct. I'm wondering actually if we have a post on here I'm seeing of the mural that we can bring you guys. But again, we just checked in with Bill Miston talking about some of the, here, let's see if I can get this up here. Lily Zhao actually visiting the mural today, saying it's the end of an era. Bucks fans have left thank you notes and a Giannis jersey by the Giannis Antetokounmpo mural in downtown Milwaukee. We did just check in with Bill Miston, showing that people have been coming in and out of this area all day long, just kind of paying your respects, if you will, guys. I mean, he's not dead, but again, very sad and definitely a loss for the city of Milwaukee that many people are grieving. Again, Giannis Antetokounmpo ending his 13-year tenure with the Milwaukee Bucks. Just some stats here about Giannis and just looking back at his very successful career. He was the 15th pick in the 2013 NBA draft. The Bucks' all-time leader in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, trip doubles, field goals made, free throws made, games played, and minutes played. It was 2014 all-rookie second team, 2017 most improved player, 2019 most valuable player, and in 2020, 2020 Defensive Player of the Year, 2021 All-Star Game MVP, and 2021 NBA Champion and Finals MVP, of course. People on X saying we'll always have July 2021. Such an exciting time for the city of Milwaukee when the Bucks won the NBA championship. Not only for Giannis, but also for Bobby Portis, who was also on that team and was later dubbed the unofficial mayor of Milwaukee there. So yeah, two big losses for the city of Milwaukee. Again, people kind of grieving right now. It kind of feels surreal. Bill Miston even saying that some people were getting a little choked up and teary-eyed just being at the mural. But again, nothing brings people together like grief. And, I think everyone's just kind of looking for people to lean on. And I think that just speaks to what the Milwaukee community is all about. See if we can get some other reactions here. up on the live desk for you. Let's see. I just taste. Oh, this is from Giannis. I believe I need to check in to see if this is a new tweet, or maybe an old one reflecting on one. Oh, that's so this is probably, of course, we know that Giannis from Greece there looks like maybe referencing a tweet from 2014 of him coming to the U.S. just saying, I just tasted for the first time a smoothie, man, God bless America. Actually kind of funny too, just coming on the heels of, FIFA and all of the people from out of the U.S. coming to America for the first time and trying all the different things. But again, so many moments for Giannis, especially also Brio is talking about how the kids will always remember how much he loved Chick-fil-A. This is posted on our TikTok right now of Giannis, the iconic moment when the day after the 2021 NBA championship, he ordered 50 chicken minis from the Chick-fil-A drive-thru for breakfast because of the 50 points he scored in that game. Let's take a listen to the whole thing that he streamed live on his Instagram. But first, let me get the volume up so I can bring that to you guys. Oh, and it's already up. Perfect.
Can I have a 50 piece? Sorry, I will put you. Can I put your camera? Do you mind or no?
Sure.
There's 150,000 people watching you right now.
Really?
Yes. So can I have please a 50-piece Mac Minis, 50 exactly,
Okay.
not 51, not 49 chicken minis, yes, 50. And let me have a large drink, no ice, half Sprite, half lemonade.
Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And then can I have
Oh man.
a large?
Such an iconic
Can I
moment
have a
there. One that people certainly will never forget. And I remember even when my friend who's from Philadelphia was coming to visit me a couple weeks ago, he was actually referencing this Giannis TikTok that he even knew about it. So again, stretching far and wide just beyond the city of Milwaukee. I mean, some could say that Giannis even put Milwaukee on the map a little bit for people that aren't familiar with the state of Wisconsin as a whole. I know we were talking in our 2 o'clock meeting, me and another producer, Savannah, we both went to college on the East Coast. And a lot of times people will be like, what is Milwaukee? Where is it? But then once you mention the Bucks, it's like, oh yeah. Or once you mention Giannis, oh yeah, of course. I know Milwaukee. So definitely a big loss for the city. But again, as we look forward to the NBA draft tonight, but then also just reminiscing on some of the funny viral moments that we had, especially this one here. But yeah, Giannis really, I mean, again, he's from Greece, was dubbed the Greek Freak. Was drafted in 2013, so over a decade ago now, but has really just embraced the city of Milwaukee since then. I mean, people talking about how humble he is. I mean, we were talking to Bria earlier, just showing the impact that he's had on the community. This is him with kids at Evolve Church, where she, back in 2023, where Bria actually mentioned that he invited these kids to his home and welcomes them with open arms, just going to show how much he really valued the community and embraced it. I think that's why it makes this news just all the more difficult to process, because of how many lives he touched and hearts he touched here in Milwaukee and Wisconsin as a whole. But yeah, tough day, guys. Will not sugarcoat it for the city of Milwaukee. But again, he can always come back. If you love something, set it free. And I forget it every time, Delaney. And if it's yours, it'll come back.
Yes,
or something.
I think it's something like that.
My mom said that to me before too, and they've never come back. But that's okay. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it'll be different. What about you, Delaney? Has it ever come back for you?
Not yet. Maybe it'll be different
not yet.
this time.
I like that. Okay, honestly, let me rephrase that. Not yet. So maybe, actually, I don't want any of mine to come back. I don't know about you, Delaney, but I do want, I mean, I think a lot of people in the city want Giannis to come back. Delaney, sorry, what were you going to say? Do you want...
No, I was just going to say the same thing.
Oh,
I think a lot of people are hopeful that Giannis will come back.
Yes, okay. Very PR media trained answer of you, unlike me right now, live on the air. But yeah, again, just really talking about Giannis's impact and also Bobby Portis. We were talking about his relationship with Feeding America and looking at, talking with Cameron from Feeding America, saying that the partnership will continue here in Milwaukee. Again, I was saying, joking around, just it'll be a long distance relationship now. And I'm sure the same will go for Giannis. Actually, our Brian Polson did the boots on the ground journalism that we needed, saying that Giannis's house is not for sale yet in River Hills. He bought it in 2018 for $1.8 million, and it's now estimated to be worth $2.7 million. But again, it's still off the market according to Zillow and Realtor.com. Just talking a little bit about the economic impact as well. We talked with Jason Calvi, just kind of referencing the press conference this morning with Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson, and how, you know, a lot of people, and rightfully so, are concerned about the economic impact that this could have. But again, this isn't the end. It is coming on the heels of the NBA draft tonight, of course, which begins at 7 o'clock our time here. But again, yeah, just kind of looking at the impact. This is, again, Bobby Portis with Feeding America, just super involved in that organization. And I mean, I think it goes to show, as I was saying, like, I think you'll see a lot of the times athletes, you know, maybe they'll have their appearances just to, you know, say they did it or because their team's telling them to do it. But Bobby Portis was really one of those people who really cared about this organization, and it really hit close to home, and was not only like having such a strong partnership with Feeding America, but was also offering and reaching out first to have those kind of opportunities. And same goes for Giannis with the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. I mean, just take a look at this statement right here from that organization saying, quote, "The Antetokounmpo family's foundational support helped elevate awareness of diaper need and the challenges facing families across our community. Through their generosity, advocacy, and willingness to lend their voices to important causes, they help shine a light on an issue that is often overlooked but affects thousands of local children and caregivers every day." So it really just goes to show both Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis having such a strong impact on the city of Milwaukee. But again, this is a post from Giannis that he posted, you know, late last night before the news broke, saying, "God, I trusted you at the beginning and I will continue to trust you throughout." Again, referencing the news that we would soon learn that Giannis Antetokounmpo had been traded to the Miami Heat along with Bobby Portis. So again, pretty surreal, a little bit sad. It's normal to be sad, you guys. I feel like an unlicensed therapist here on the Wisconsin Live Desk for everyone. Delaney, are you feeling the same?
Kind of, yeah.
And even Tim Van Boren, honestly, like, I liked his insight. He was saying that he's hopeful. I think we all should be. Again, a very bittersweet day. I think we can look back on the impact, but then also look forward at the future and what's to come, especially for the Bucks. Oh my gosh, we got a new comment. Let's see. Carlos saying Giannis is the GOAT. And I think a lot of people can agree with that as well, just looking at his tenure here in Milwaukee and all that he's done for the Milwaukee Bucks franchise, as well as, you know, of course, the win in 2021 of the NBA championship, just really setting the tone. And for the city of Milwaukee, I feel like the city really came alive that night. Just looking at, you know, a lot of the viral moments. I was talking with Sam Kramer and Ashley Sears, who were actually on the ground in the Deer District the night of the championship. Delaney, where were you that night?
I was in Eau Claire. I was up in my college town.
How was the hype up there? Was everyone like going crazy?
Everyone was going crazy, but I was really jealous of all my friends in Milwaukee.
That's very fair. I feel like that was the place to be. It was like downtown Milwaukee. Everyone was just out and about. And again, nothing brings people together like Wisconsin sports here in Milwaukee. But yeah, this was from Carlos again. Shout out again. You can tap into our chat panel here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We are here with you for just a few more minutes before our early evening newscast. But again, as I like to say, I guess not any last words, but any final words for now before we let Ben and Kim, or I don't know who's anchoring 4 o'clock today. Why don't we ask Matt Kiesling right there? Ben and Mary maybe today on Fox 6 News at 4?
Yeah, Ben and Mary.
Ben and Mary will take over Fox 6 News at 4 coming up in just a few moments, where, again, our coverage does not stop. It continues. And, again, we are extending our coverage after our early evening newscast. We're going to bring you reports from the draft starting at 8 o'clock here on Fox Local. So be sure to keep it right here as Fox 6 News at 4 gets underway. But, again, crazy day. Thank you for being on this journey with us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. It has been a crazy 4 hours, and actually just a crazy, I mean, going even beyond that from when we learned the news late last night. I mean, I know, Delaney, you said that you woke up to it this morning. What was your thoughts when you woke up?
I was expecting it, but also it kind of felt unreal.
Yeah, it did. I think especially Delaney, too, growing up around Milwaukee, I mean, you can kind of speak to, I mean, I think whether you're a sports fan or not, there's no denying that this had an impact on the city.
For sure. I think both Giannis and Bobby Portis made such an impact on the community, so it's not just basketball fans who are upset.
What about ask Matt what his thoughts are? Tell him to hit the talk button. She's asking him right now. Let's see. Matt, thoughts? This is Matt Kiesling, our 4 o'clock producer.
What's going on? How's everybody on Wild?
Good, Matt. What are your thoughts on the Giannis and Bobby trade?
Saw it coming. I mean, everybody saw it coming. So, I mean, it's just a matter of coming to terms with it now.
Yep, no, I agree. It's like the breakup that we all saw coming. Matt, this is great because we've got the 4 o'clock producer of the next newscast. Give us a 20-second elevator pitch of why people should keep Fox Local on for your newscast.
We're gonna get more reaction on Giannis.